Gee, I don't know, exalted Fauci. Why would fat people exercise if not to lose weight? Honestly, why are fat people even sleeping? They could just be exercising all night long. Why would a fat person drink anything except water? Why do fat people have jobs? Their job should be to lose weight. Why would a fat person eat anything except a vegetable? No butter, no oil, only leaves. This may come as a surprise to you, but fat people can exist without trying to constantly lose weight. There are endless reasons to exercise. Maybe they want to get stronger or faster or improve their bone health or their heart health or their mental health. Maybe they're competing. Maybe they have a race. Maybe they just like to fucking exercise. You guys get so hung up on the fat part that you forget the people. It's a person. And people do things for all types of reasons. Don't you dare gaslight me either. I was just asking a simple question. No, you weren't. Fat people have the same variety of interests and goals that thin people do, and they are allowed to pursue them without having to shrink themselves.
It's like they don't actually care about health and only care about looks, like we've been saying.
Maybe I do it so can punch people who ask me why I'm fat in the face. I mean, maybe.
To piss off fat phobes, obviously. My exercise goal is to crush a watermelon with my thighs. I exercise because it lowers your blood sugar, which is healthy. Just BC I'm fat doesn't mean I don't try to eat healthy and take care of my body.
Maybe work out so I can knock the F out of people who hassle me about my weight.
We're just trying to trigger the fit people. Maybe it's working.
Today, I want to talk about the misconceptions regarding my petition. I recently started a petition that demands the FAA to protect plus-size travelers and customers of size, which millions have heard about now around the world. My petition is about ensuring that every individual has access to safe and comfortable air travel. It's not just about plus-size individuals, but also about individuals with disabilities, who may require additional space or accommodations to travel safely and comfortably. By having regulations in place that protect plus-size individuals, it would also benefit those with disabilities, ensuring that they have the space and accommodations they need to travel comfortably. Taller individuals also face many of the same challenges that plus-size travelers face when traveling by air.
Yes, especially with them getting so much smaller.
Or maybe you getting bigger.
Nah, the seats are the same. I think you're getting bigger.
What about people with large penises?
Having a disability is medical. Being 600 pounds is a choice.
Can you please show me someone who has been 600 pounds without eating?
Legroom is often limited, and plane seats are designed for the average size individual. By having regulations in place that protect plus-size travelers, taller individuals would also benefit greatly. Lastly, there are individuals who physically take up more space regardless of their size, and they also deserve to have access to safe and comfortable air travel. By signing my petition, we are not only advocating for the rights of plus-size individuals, but for the rights of all individuals who face challenges when traveling by air. Let's stand together and demand that the FAA takes action to protect the rights of all air travelers. You can check out my petition by clicking the link in my bio or heading to change.org/plus-size travel. Thank you so much for watching and for your support. Make sure to hit that follow button for more plus-size travel tips and advocacy.
The percentage of fat people who actually have those conditions is so small.
Here's a bright idea. All fat people shouldn't get free seats, only the ones with those types of conditions.
The ACAA already grants disabled people discrimination protections on airlines.
Exactly, they're already protected. Shameful of her to lump obese and disabled together. Why should people get free seats based on bad choices in life?
My question is, what is the standard of measurement on this? Being weighed before the flight? Showing your clothing tags? Your BMI? I'm just confused.
There's a difference between being fat and having a disability.
False assumptions in this comment aside, how can you say that humans were not meant to be my size when we do exist today and have always existed? What are you using to determine what body size is natural and which is not?
It never fails that anytime I talk about my eating disorder or all the things I used to do to lose weight, at least one person will pop their head out of the ground just to say, you know, you can lose weight in a healthy way. It doesn't need to be so extreme. And I don't know how else to explain that for me and for many, many other people, that is simply untrue.
Whatever you need to tell yourself.
Because the second I start ignoring my body's cues, it's over. The instant my body tells me it is hungry and I choose either not to feed it or to underfeed it, which is what a calorie deficit is, it knows it's time for famine. It goes into scarcity mode. It thinks I don't have access to food, and as a result, my body turns on all the alarms to try to get me to eat as much as humanly possible so that I can survive this famine.
Said discipline? Man, what is this BS for real? What are the alarms exactly? Your body starts to melt or something.
And I want you to imagine what it's actually like to go through your day with your body screaming at you that it's starving, and you just have to pretend that that's not happening. It's consuming all of your thought space and all of your energy, but you just have to pretend it's not real. There is no way to casually pursue weight loss when you're in that state. The behaviors have to be extreme because it's an extreme situation. So when people talk about how weight loss is not an option for them or weight loss is harmful for them, just believe them. Just take them at their word.
First world problem at its finest. How do we tell her? Can't control your desires and addiction, say ARC.
When I was at my worst, feeling hungry actually felt like a victory. Being miserable meant that I won some crazy argument with my body. I think I know a solution.
Take this as a sign, bro. Do you think this is a wake-up call? Now who is here to blame? What they have to do? Extend the airplane? You deserve to travel, but I deserve a seat. I'm tall. They should build taller planes for me too.
I hear any of you say that your New Year's resolution is to lose weight. People in that comment section are offended.
What, am I not allowed to better myself? What, are you against being healthy?
Vowing to exercise more, eat healthier, and lose weight were the top 3 New Year's resolutions this year. And every year! There is a $1 billion industry invested in you wanting to lose weight. Nobody is stopping you. But also maybe some people just don't actually care. And I can already hear all of the weight loss coaches and former fat people and crybaby trainers being like,
they're just stopping you from achieving your goal, and if you hire me, I can do this.
The persecution complex on those people is so embarrassing. You're not stomping feet, tantrum mad about someone not being able to achieve their health goals. You're mad at the mere suggestion there are people out there that don't care about trying to achieve a body size you've convinced yourself is morally superior. The idea that there are people who want to make goals that don't revolve around making their body smaller sends you spiraling.
Why bash on someone's goals for New Year? Sorry that I want to make past 40. If you don't care, then why post? But why laugh at people who do want to lose weight? Choosing to lose weight or choosing to be fat are both valid.
Last year, I got married, and like most people do, we hired a wedding photographer. One day, we had a meeting to talk about the wedding, and after we got done talking about that, she said that she was actually in the process of getting into boudoir photography, and she very, very nervously asked me if I would be interested in being her first subject. And she clearly didn't think I was going to say yes, but before she could even finish, I was like, yes, yes, oh my god, yes. So the day came, I got my hair done, I got my makeup done, I made a playlist with absolute bone jams that made me feel super powered and amazing, and when I got there, she clearly felt like she needed to like coddle me or encourage me, and I was like, yeah. Is it okay if I'm like dead ass naked? Like I brought some outfits too, but I would like to be like completely naked. And she was fine with that. When the photo shoot was over, she asked me if I was planning on giving the pictures to my husband as a gift, to which I said, no. I told her that when she approached me with this idea, I saw it as an opportunity. I told her that as a fat woman, I wanted to teach her by example how to treat other fat women in this space.
Why spend your time this way? Why do others' opinions matter so much to you? What is the lesson?
But wait, was the photographer negative to you? Why did you feel the need to school her? Assuming that everyone has a fat bias is biased. Assuming that I will judge you for your weight is projection. You don't have to teach most.
Doing the Lord's work.
Wait, how did you know that she wouldn't already be accepting of all body types?
As a plus-size travel blogger, I am never flying with these airlines. Let me just start out by saying these are all just my opinions. In no way do you have to listen to me, but if you were asking me for my advice, this is what I would tell you. So many of you have asked me which airlines you should completely avoid if you're plus size, and the first one on my list is American Airlines. So here are the reasons why I wouldn't fly with American Airlines. Their seats tend to be on the smaller size, and there's like horror stories of plus size people being like dragged off their planes, and that just isn't happening for me. The next airline that I avoid as a plus size person is United Airlines. Their seating is just a little bit smaller, again, kind of like American Airlines. And another airline that I avoid as a plus size traveler is Hawaiian Airlines, and let me tell you why. They reserve the right to not board or not transport a plus size passenger if the flight is full and they need a second seat. So that's why I would avoid them. If you want to know which airlines I think are great for plus size passengers and just get more general plus size travel advice, make sure to hit that follow button.
To be honest, what are Hawaiian Airlines meant to do? If you need more than one seat and they only have one left, they can't kick out another passenger just for you.
If the flight is full and there's not enough room, what do you expect them to do?
My opinion is every flight should have 4 plus size seats, just instead of 3 or 4 seats row, but 2 seats row.
Any recommendations on super fat-friendly, all-inclusive resorts?
The gym. She would rather kick someone else off the plane because she needs 2 seats.
Here she is! The elephant! Address me! Address me! I'm waiting!
Elephants are also cute, and with "come on, fight me, I dare you" energy.
Little Princess limited his comments. Of course.
You're overweight, like just work out. But my sister brought up a really like mind-blowing point. When you're being fat phobic, you're also being a little bit classist. Have you heard of this argument?
I've not heard of that.
When you're somebody who has less money, it's a lot easier to be overweight.
To buy a whole meal at a grocery store is a lot more expensive. But if you go like to say a McDonald's, they have like $1
or Little Caesars.
yeah, you could get pizza for $10 to feed your whole family. And like groceries that would come out to what, like 30, 40 bucks or 50 depending on how big your family is.
To even have time to work out is also a privilege. A lot of people who are like lower income, they're working to get by, bro. They're working long hours, long shifts. They're not going to have time to even work out. Like obviously they're going to be overweight.
Or like they're too tired to cook, so they're just buy a piece of pizza.
It's not necessarily anybody's fault, right? It's not necessarily an ugly thing because people can't help but be overweight.
The lengths people will go to justify their bad decisions.
Eating 3,000 calories a day is cheaper than eating 2,000?
I'm hearing a lot of excuses, and this is coming from a fatty. I'm fat 'cause I'm lazy and like to eat what I want when I want.
So control intake?
Did you know that more than 1 billion people in the world are plus size? That's roughly 13% of the population. And yet, many airlines still don't have clear policies in place to accommodate plus size passengers. That's why I've started a petition calling on the FAA to require every airline to have a clear customer size policy in place for plus size passengers. No one should have to endure the discomfort, embarrassment, and discrimination that often comes with being a plus size passenger trying to navigate air travel. By signing this petition, you can help us demand that airlines take concrete steps to make air travel more inclusive and accommodating for all passengers. Whether you're plus size or not, everybody deserves to be treated with dignity and respect when they fly. Let's work together to make sure that the travel industry serves everyone, not just a select few. Sign and share this petition, and let's make a difference.
Not too late to delete.
Can we start a counter petition?
There's a solution to this, but you aren't going to like it.
So if my whole fam wants to go on holiday but my dad can't get a seat because you want free extra seats, he has to go on a separate flight. Or pay more for a seat that he paid for, unlike you who gets special treatment because you did this to yourself and now you think it's unfair saying this?
If that petition would even do something, they would start whining about how airplane tickets prices would hike up 50%.
I think the bigger problem is 1 billion people are plus size.
Why should they accommodate to a group of people who are in that predicament because of their bad choices?
And yet some of those 13% are too thick to understand that it is their fault and not airlines.
I don't have to change, the rest of the world does.
The audacity.
Being fat is not cute. You are going to have health problems and it's going to shorten your life because you're too lazy to get in the gym or to watch what you're eating. It's going to be difficult, especially if you've been living a life of gluttony.
I can't stand you bitches for the life of me, and the Lord is my witness. All right, Sandy Cheeks, let's get into it. You don't give a fuck about my health, or anyone else's for that matter. Let me tell you why. This is me. This is also me. If you would see me walk down the street tomorrow, you would still call me a fat, lazy bitch, just like many other people do in their head. The one and only time I told someone I wanted to go on a hike, they laughed at me saying, "You are going to go on a hike? How bizarre. You don't know how much I weighed last year, you don't know how much I weigh today, and that doesn't matter. As long as I don't look healthy to you, you will never consider me as such." Last year, there was this trend of skinny women showing off how they could eat family meals by themselves on a Mario Bros sound. About their health, you cared about how they looked. As long as that satisfied you, it was fine. The difference in comment sections, as soon as a bigger creator was doing it, is a social experiment in and of itself. When you get on Tinder and you see guys looking for girls they can work out with, they're not talking about me. I work out, but they're not actually looking for a woman who works out. They're looking for a woman who's skinny. It's just a way to filter out fat women. Just like they say, "Oh, I'm not fatphobic. I'm actually just more attracted to healthy people." I consider myself healthy, but that doesn't matter because they don't actually care about my health. They care about my looks. I say this from the bottom of my heart. I fucking hate you. And even if a fat person is not working out or trying to lose weight, we are still human beings. Sometimes it's okay to say you hate the sight of fat people. Just say it out loud, so we know to stay away from you. I wouldn't want to bother you. Bitch, fuck you. And Gabriela Lascano, fuck you for opening that door, bitch. If I end up not losing weight and breaking your heart, just know there are other health causes you can invest yourself into. DM me. I'm a nurse. I can give you a list since you're so worried about people's health.
30 minutes on the stairs? Girl, you healthy AF.
Every single word you said.
If you think fat people talk about weight a lot, then you haven't been around or lived with people who are fatphobic. Their entire lives revolve around their weight and making sure they're thin and don't look like us. It's fucking weird.
This is how my abusive grandmother was. Would constantly talk about my weight and I wasn't even that big then.
Maybe she doesn't want you to die of diabetes since you have no eating self-control.
The worst fatphobic people are the ones who used to be fat themselves. SMH.
How? Explain? They had the strong mentality to change for a healthier lifestyle.
It's really simple and has nothing to do with people wanting to better themselves. It's putting others down after they lost weight and being bullies. They know how it feels, yet they do the same when they lose weight instead of helping by giving tips how they lost or motivation to get started.
The way the comments are proving her point.
Real like girly, why are you so obsessed with us?
So, intentional weight loss. So you purposely saying, I want to lose 20 pounds is fatphobic. Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? It's probably to fit into something smaller. It's probably so people treat you better. It's probably for all the reasons that fat folks are shamed simply for being fat. So by continuing to perpetuate that, right, seeking intentional weight loss, we are contributing to our fatphobic society.
What about health? Lol.
Never heard of him.
Never underestimate fat cope. People will literally go insane defending obesity then just lose weight LMAO.
My response to being called fatphobic will always be the quote from Asmongold. You know who's fatphobic? Your body. Your body's fatphobic.
This person has obviously never been to a doctor. Also, I don't see any of these fatphobic educators over the age of 30.
Okay, I'll unintentionally lose the fat then.
This is just a reminder that your tummy is so cute! So cute.
Yeah! This makes me so happy to hear. Like, we deserve to do things as fat people, as disabled people. Accessibility tools exist so that we can use them. So use them. Mwah.
GenQ, is this not taking resources from disabled people? What's the balance of easing your experience versus critical need for something like a WC?
Why should fat people, specifically obese people, be classified as healthy but also have trouble just walking around a freaking airport?
I hate when people say that wheelchairs are only for people who need them. Because when they say that, what they mean is wheelchair users are for people who are paralyzed. But not everyone who is a wheelchair user, who uses a wheelchair, who needs a wheelchair, is paralyzed. Because if you're gonna do away with wheelchairs for anyone who has the physical ability to stand for like a couple seconds, I think we should do away with strollers. Because toddlers can stand. They can walk pretty far actually. If you hold their hand, they can get around fine. You know why we use strollers? Because we do need them. We need them. You cannot tell me that we do not need strollers. And we use strollers for kids who are pretty big, right? 4, 5, 6 years old. You're using a stroller because kids get tired. Their muscles are underdeveloped, just haven't gotten the chance to grow yet.
Literally, what are you talking about?
And you know what? Some adults need strollers too. And that stroller is a wheelchair. So get the fuck over it. We're not in a mass wheelchair shortage, okay? What is your commitment to making disabled people and fat people suffer all the time? If an accessibility tool makes your life easier, you should fucking use it. Because life fucking sucks, okay? And if it makes the difference between you going outside and not going outside, use the fucking wheelchair and go outside. Because life is so fucking short. And if you really cared about people's health, you would know that going outside is better for your health and well-being than not going outside. And being able to live independently can mean the world's difference to somebody. Because that independence can mean getting to the doctors regularly, or going to the grocery store, or going to be able to pick up your meds. If you actually cared about people's health, you would stop discrediting that.
If only there were a solution to this.
The problem people have is not that you use one but claim you need it. You do not, you can change. Some people cannot.
Maybe if you moved more though, it could help you.
What is your commitment to making disabled people and fat people suffer? And that post comment section proved my point.
If everyone disagrees with you, maybe you're wrong.
I don't think disabled and fat belong in the same sentence. The struggles disabled people face are not their fault and out of their control.
Why are you linking the two?
Hi everybody, this is just a friendly reminder that diets do not work. Just because you lose weight on a diet doesn't mean that it works. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
Did you ever try?
That's kind of annoying. Oh, I agree. Yeah.
You don't like Lizzo?
I don't know. Yeah.
The sun is so bright. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Lizzo, but I will be damned if a group of thin women hate on her. I will go to war against that. Why is she annoying?
Am I supposed to lie and say I like her just because I'm skinny, or what's your idea here?
What are you going to do? Bully them into liking her? Some people just cannot grasp the concept that people have opinions. They probably just don't like her music like everyone has their one music taste.
I want to talk about our fat-phobic society for a second. I have a family member who she has been skinny, pretty her entire life. No one has ever told her to like lose weight or diet. Oh, you need to get healthy. You need to be healthy. No one has ever given her any of those innuendos or side like sly compliments, but like it was like a sly diss, because like, you know, for fat people, as if you're a fat person, then you know our whole society tells you like lose weight, you need to be healthy, it's for your health, it's for your health. Well, this family member who has been skinny pretty her entire life is an avid smoker. she's been smoking since she was like 13 or something, right?
Her smoking has nothing to do with being skinny.
So at 26, I think, she had her lungs collapse. One of her lungs collapsed, and so now she lives the rest of her life without full capacity, lung capacity. And not one person has ever said, you need to be more healthy. And I think that we demonize fat people in our society because we just automatically assume if you're fat, you're unhealthy, which is so not true. It's just because the fat phobia that's embedded in our society. But take a moment to really think about, what you're saying to your fat friend or your fat family member when you're not saying anything to like a skinny person just because you assume that they're healthy because they're skinny. Fat doesn't mean unhealthy. Skinny does not mean healthy. Okay? I love you. Bye.
Nobody is telling smokers to be proud smokers. Smokers don't expect non-smokers to accept their unhealthy habit. You have fit phobia. Lol, being fat is just as unhealthy as being a smoker. You are correct.
A bit of fat shaming is a good thing, right? I think that when people say to me, you put on a bit of timber, mate, it makes me go back and try and lose a bit of timber. Eat a bit less, drink a bit less, get on my Peloton bike, off we go, right? I need to have people look at me going, hey, big boy, lose a bit.
That's so ironic,
right?
because whenever we mention it on air as a joke, you complain about it.
I do that to you because
Yes.
you're the great virtue signaling. We can't say anything negative about anybody's body image. Everyone's perfect.
Yes.
I don't agree. I think a bit of fat shaming is a good thing, a healthy thing. What do you think, Angelina?
I think you're wrong.
This does not sound right, unless the person is preaching obesity, but do you agree?
I love British people. You put a bit of timber on, mate.
I like peers, but it's no one's business the size of my body. If I get sick, it won't affect them.
Bro, the comments.
I spat my coffee out at the end.
Everyone, not just a select few.
Well, Jaylene Cheney made global headlines this weekend after claiming fat people are entitled to extra seats on planes because they're so fat. She said all plus-sized passengers should be provided with an extra free seat or even 2 or 3 seats depending on their size to accommodate their needs and ensure their comfort during the flight. Well, look, Jaylene, you can have your extra seat, you can have 10 extra seats, but you've got to pay for them. Why should you be entitled to special treatment, raising the cost of travel for everybody else because you're obese?
The fact may be that plane seats are not that comfortable, but free seats are a little too much.
As a large person, I acknowledge that it's my fault and will sit uncomfortably for the duration of the flight. It's not my neighbor's responsibility.
I am not fat by choice, it's the food fault.
What about the toilet?
If you don't mind me asking, how much do you weigh?
Look, I'm not going to talk about numbers because the thing is, when you...
Well, I think you should. I mean,
no, the thing is, if I give you the number of how much I weigh, it's going to be all over the Sun, all those trashy newspapers tomorrow morning. I don't need it. Don't need it.
Well, you don't need it. You're on
No.
TikTok every day showing
is-
us how big you are.
Yeah, and look...
And you're proud of it.
No, there's a difference. There's proud, and then there's just being positive in my own skin. And that's what I am.
Right. You've managed not to end up as George has weight-wise. I don't mean to denigrate you, George.
Could
I'm
be
just saying...
genetics, though, couldn't it?
No, it's not.
It could be enough.
What it is,
I don't think it's genetics, is it?
I believe it's because my parents were like cool hippie vegetarians, whereas George's were not.
But are you comfortable? You've got a son, right? Are you comfortable about his current weight? Do you think when he does this stuff on TikTok, are you really laughing or are you concerned about him?
I'm concerned not so much about his weight, but more about his well-being, and
Well, the two go hand in hand.
I think all of it is for attention and audience growth.
That didn't go well, did it? Loved it. She's definitely got a big life insurance policy on him.
He wasn't that big when they met. Why are they talking about him like he's not there?
So you want to hear my hot take on plus size travel and why I think every plus size traveler should get a free second and even third seat on an airplane?
Why not all seats? I need all the seats, so I need a private plane.
Free? OMG, the entitlement.
I am claustrophobic. Can I get the entire cabin?
Then you better keep watching and sign my petition to make some real change. Let's just state facts. Plus size travelers need more space. And many people agree that plane seats are too small, even for the average size person. As a plus size traveler myself, I know how uncomfortable and unsafe it can be to squeeze into a tiny airplane seat. We are not asking for special treatment or luxury accommodations.
I be extra hungry sometimes. Can I get a second plate?
8K calories come with a price.
We simply want enough space to travel comfortably and safely without fear of being discriminated against because of our size. It's truly that simple. If you agree that every traveler deserves to fly comfortably and without fear of discrimination, then go ahead and please sign my petition and share it with everybody that you know. Let's work together to make air travel more inclusive and accommodating for everyone.
If only there was another option. Anything, any other way.
I'm a big guy. I know this and I'm working on it. Society shouldn't enable this destructive behavior.
Respect, keep it up.
In that case, my 4-year-old doesn't take the whole seats. I think toddlers shouldn't pay for full price.
Change the world around you, so you don't have to change yourself.
Does that mean if I want to lay down and my seat doesn't allow it, I should just get the whole row for free so I can sleep?
They should weigh passengers plus bag and charge accordingly. I'm tired of getting charged when a bag is 2 pounds over. Meanwhile, person next to me is 300 pounds.
This makes sense if the airline is a state-owned entity. Otherwise, these companies are in business for profit.
Yeah, all roofs should be at least 20 feet tall for tall people.
But if you genuinely believed this, why are you in my comments blaming the individual when it is so clearly the fault of our government?
Of course, just shift the blame.
I've never met a smoker who denies it's bad for them. Same with alcoholics.
Take self-responsibility and have discipline. Don't give in to the government and stop falling victim to them.
You can't blame the government for your overeating.
Government didn't put the spoon in your mouth.
Fructose still doesn't make you fat, unless you overeat it like every other form of calories.
The fact you're blaming the government when you can't even control yourself.
It's always someone else's fault for our shortcomings.
There are millions of Americans who aren't 400 pounds like you are. It's clearly not the government's fault.
Blame the government for your choices. LMAO.
My fat body is a sign of rebellion against a systemic culture that feeds into this narrative.
So you overeat just to rebel? Or stay unhealthy just to prove a point?
It is fucking beautiful. It's powerful.
How is fat powerful when you cannot walk a pair of stairs?
I'm always reminded about the incredible things I am capable of, despite people like you telling me otherwise. I mean, I have no complaints about who I am, and I have no reason to change myself. And I'm sorry that you don't find me or fat people appealing, but honestly, we don't exist to be attractive to you. We're simply trying to exist.
Rebellion. Seriously, it's okay that you accept your body, but a kind of rebellion. I have some doubts.
Just stop, and you are just going to hurt yourself with that mindset. It's not about being attractive, it's about living a good life.
I just want to take a moment to apologize to anyone in the lipedema community who I have hurt by getting diagnosed with lipedema by not one, but 2 doctors. I am so sorry to have spent the last year undiagnosed, going from physician to physician to physician, 10 physicians, countless appointments, and finally figuring out why I was losing my mobility. After a lifetime of undiagnosed symptoms and signs that I had lipedema. And as it ballooned up and I gained about 150 pounds in a year, while in a calorie deficit, which I'm sure you won't believe.
Of course, because it is impossible.
All the while facing targeted harassment online because of the shape of my legs, are abnormal because of the lipedema. And just finally now being able to start treatment because of my diagnoses. I am so sorry that I have hurt the lipedema community, which I am so clearly not a part of.
Thanks for this. Unfortunately, it is scientifically impossible to gain 150 pounds while in a calorie deficit.
Lipedema is a cause of abnormal fat distribution, not fat creation out of thin air in a calorie deficit.
Search up the definition of calorie deficit. When you burn more than you take in, you will lose weight, regardless of condition.
I'm sorry that you have to deal with this, but it is impossible to gain 150 pounds on a calorie deficit.
You can't gain 150 pounds while in a deficit. If you did, you'd be the first human being in history to break thermodynamic laws.
Apparently you can overcome the laws of physics by gaining weight while in a calorie deficit. Congratulations.
You know the treatment for your illness? Healthy eating and exercise.
Yeah, but how do I achieve this physique?
2 out of how many doctors?
So 10 doctors said no, but 2 said yes, and you're running with the 2?
If you ever hear someone talk about anti-fat bias or fat phobia, and you're like, what? That doesn't exist. That's not a real thing in America now. This is what it looks like the vast majority of the time. It's this societal, culturally ingrained belief that fat people are just going to drop dead at some point. I thought it when I was a kid. All of media and people were like, oh, if you're fat, you're just going to die young. I'm almost 40. I'm showing no signs of stopping. People drop dead, unfortunately, young, due to any number of reasons, often, and not always because they're fat.
So because people die at any age, fat is healthy? Got it.
This is garbage. This is anti-fat bias. Learn to see it. Please stop doing it.
I don't get it, though. Like he just said he wanted to be healthy?
It's a sliding scale. Having some extra fat isn't going to harm you. But if you have a significant amount of excess body fat, it can raise the risk.
Do not comment on someone's weight change. If you perceive someone to be smaller or bigger, don't. You have no idea how or why they gained or lost weight. You have no idea if they have a history of eating issues. Just keep your thoughts to yourself.
What if you are close to them and just want to congratulate them?
Didn't you literally comment on Taylor's weight about her anorexia?
I don't know about you guys, but I was miserable at 150 pounds. After losing 20 pounds, everything changed and the compliments really helped.
Anytime I talk about the problems with the BMI, the most common response I always get is, okay, well, what should we use instead? And the answer is nothing. Get rid of it and replace it with nothing. We literally don't need it. If a patient needs to be assessed for an illness, doctors use diagnostic testing to do that. If a patient has an illness, the doctor will treat that illness. If medications need to be dosed based on weight, there are formulas that already exist to calculate those dosages. If a doctor wants to educate a patient about the benefits of health-promoting behaviors, they can and should do that with all their patients. There is no medical scenario where the BMI or any tool like the BMI is the most effective, most specialized tool for the job. None. We already have systems and tools in place to meet whatever a patient's specific health needs may be. Categorizing and pathologizing patients based on weight is and has always been lazy medicine.
So basically you're advocating for obese women's feelings are more important than society and health. Got it.
So you would rather die than have a BMI? Always funny when people think they know better than medical professionals. It's frustrating when you could be denied for a surgery cause your BMI is too high.
I understand what you mean, but they're literally doing it for your safety.
I would love to answer this comment. This is absolutely not like a what the fuck. I just want to answer this. So it's not about you having goals. It's about the fact that perpetuating diet culture and spreading diet culture. A lot of the times, most diets turn into eating disorders. There's a lot of research. I'm not a doctor. Please feel free to look at it yourself. But a lot of the times, people see this and they're like, I can do that. I'm sorry, I'm moving. Hold on. I'm in a Starbucks drive-thru. Anyways, so a lot of the times people will see that and they want to copy it. And a lot of people don't put enough effort and research and thought into diets, which don't last. I think it's like 98% of diets don't last, so fuck that. You gain the weight back, it's unhealthy. You cut so much out, you binge. I don't want to be a part of that. I've had a handful of eating disorders in my lifetime. I am becoming really, really comfortable with food and eating, and I do not want to fall into that rabbit hole. So I will not watch, I will not promote, I will not like, I simply will unfollow, and sometimes I will literally block that person. I do not want to see.
Sounds a little health phobic of you.
You don't want people getting healthy on your FYP lol. And glorifying morbid obesity doesn't lead to eating disorders? That's fine, I'll just go and enjoy living past 50.
How is eating healthier diet culture?
But you're spreading obesity, which is much more unhealthy than a diet.
Associate with you if you're fat. That's when it matters, because who you hang around with truly does impact.
I think she thinks it's catching. Back in 2007, there was this study that showed essentially that being friends with fat people or being related to fat people increased your chances of being fat yourself. And after that, there was this panic about the obesity epidemic and how you shouldn't hang out with fat people because that would make you more likely to be fat. So the idea that it's catching is not new. But what no one ever seems to consider is that maybe the reason that fat people are more likely to be friends with other fat people is because other fat people are less likely to judge us and be bigoted and not want to associate with other fat people because they are that freaking afraid of looking like us. Honestly, it's kind of hilarious to me because imagine being so afraid of being fat that you literally convince yourself that by being around fat people, you'll become fat by osmosis. But let's be real, being fat may not be catching, but social ostracization sure is.
I purposely don't associate with obese people either, but not solely because they're fat. I don't associate with weak people, which obese people are.
Well, to be honest, what Fish Lips is saying has some truth to it. I struggled with weight most of my life, and my friends adopted my love of food.
And I must say the contrary can happen too. If you're fat and spend a lot of time with someone who has a really healthy lifestyle, you could lose weight by being influenced to a healthier lifestyle. And I must say again, it depends why you took weight at first.
These same girls get mad when these girls lose weight.
And yet you cannot snap your fingers and lose 500 pounds or 300 pounds or 100 pounds or 50 pounds. And that doesn't even begin to acknowledge the people who are that size because of a disability that either causes weight gain or prevents weight loss. And if you can acknowledge that those things are true, why would you not want to fight for things to be a little bit easier for those people? Because whether or not it's a desired outcome or it's a good thing, fat people exist. People who are 600 pounds exist. Disabled people who become fat because of their disability exist. Not every fat person who is 500 or 600 pounds is that size because they have a binge eating disorder. And even if they had a binge eating disorder, that doesn't make their fatness their fault.
Instead of listening to people who have nothing better to do than spend all day every day shitting on fat people, why not listen to the words I actually said? Because I use the words I use intentionally.
Someone who's 600 pounds would definitely say yes for both reasons.
Why do you act like people don't observe the world around them?
Some audacity to possibly believe you can speak for someone else.
If we left people with EDs keep making decisions for themselves without helping them, we would be living in a more fucked up world.
But it's not your body who decides your weight, it's actually your brain who is deciding. Most of people needs to do an effort to not get fat.
You think our ancestors had to think about how much they ate? No, it's called intuitive eating.
Our ancestors couldn't order junk food from the coach, and used to have a more active life. You can't compare us with our ancestors.
I am that size, I would press that button. Because being this size in a completely inaccessible world sucks. I cannot lose weight, it's not my fault.
I don't have a victim mindset. I have a genetic mutation. My brain is wired wrong. I have been told by a doctor I can't lose weight without surgery.
Yes, thyroid problems do exist, but it's going to make you 600 fucking pounds. Thyroids only really go to 10 to 30.
Those that are using BED as justification, because it's a disability, BED should be treated. BED is not a healthy lifestyle.
The Whale is a fat-phobic film about a man trying to eat himself to death. And whenever I've made a video about it and referencing that they shouldn't use a fat suit, no film should use a fat suit, one of the comments that I get is, well, they had to use a fat suit because there are no 600-pound actors. Well, number one, I'm certain there are out there 600-pound actors, but they don't get a lot of work because people use fat suits.
Name one 600-pound actor.
Acting is an extremely strenuous job with long hours. Hiring an actor 600+ pounds could have added thousands of unnecessary costs and accommodations.
Maybe these potentially hypothetical 600 pounds actors don't get hypothetical roles because they hypothetically suck.
If you are mad about this amazing movie, grow up, and that's coming from someone half your age.
Everything I don't like shouldn't have been made.
Who cares, bro? It's a movie.
But ignoring that, completely ignoring that, and completely ignoring the fact that this film shouldn't have been made in the first place, ignoring the fact that the play shouldn't have been made in the first place, you realize that they could have just had Brendan Fraser with his extra couple of pounds, and audiences today would have believed he was eating himself to death. Any actor of any fatness could have played that character, and audiences would have believed he was eating himself to death, because our media tells us that fat people are dying because they're fat. And there is no distinction between levels of fatness in our culture. It's if you're fat, you're killing yourself. So there was no reason for them to have to use a fat suit.
I don't think I quite get what people find so offensive about this movie, or why they think Brendan Fraser shouldn't act in it.
Also, sorry, the idea that actors can only play themselves negates the whole point of acting.
Your inner self-hatred is showing.
Y'all are so chronically online. OMG, this video is so cringe. Name one 600-pound actor that is as good as the original actor.
They used a heavy lady in who's eating Gilbert Grape and she was awful.
How do you define fatphobia? And if there are people who are fatphobic, why does your opinion matter more than theirs? Just trying to learn. I think you don't understand. Acting isn't about body weight. It is about being able to show your emotions, and Brendan was the best to do it.
Have to use a fat suit to show a 600-pound character, or even to hire a 600-pound actor. They just had to hire a fat person, and they could have told the story they wanted to tell, as fatphobic and horrible as it was.
Going through the whole script is crazy. Why are you so mad at a fat suit that don't hurt anybody?
'Cause all you can do is complain, bruh, you taking shit too deep.
Go outside, touch some grass.
Like, for real, it's a damn movie. No one 30 years ago would have cared, not even fat people.
Fucking cry about it. Jesus Christ, people just look for reasons to be offended. It's called acting. I'm fat as fuck and I'm 0% offended.
I think you are the only one that has a problem with this movie.
Wow, you missed the whole message. Read more, guy.
Are you saying this story should never be told, fat suit or no? Is it fatphobic to show someone eating themselves to death?
It is okay to be fat. It is beautiful to be fat. Fatness is protective and soft and comforting. Fatness doesn't have to be glorified or normalized because it is normal. Not only is it normal, but it's natural. It exists in every single species of animal on this planet. You people conflate the fat agenda or whatever with this desire to be unhealthy or to neglect our health or to encourage other people to neglect their health. But that's a story that you made up in your mind. I'm just out here trying to make the world a safer place for fat people, healthy or not. Because shocking, health is not a prerequisite for safety. And it's really hard to be healthy when you're not getting equitable treatment under the healthcare system, something we're fighting for. It is okay to be fat.
It shouldn't be acceptable to be fat because of many aspects.
It is beautiful to be fat.
Not debatable as it comes down to taste, but this sentence encourages gaining weight, which is bad.
Fatness is protective and soft and comforting.
Protective? Protect you from fall? Sure, but increases inflammation, so negatively affects you. When fat cells in the body are stuffed with excess fat, the surrounding tissue becomes inflamed. That chronic, low-level inflammation is one of the driving factors behind many of the diseases associated with obesity. Comforting? Improves your mood, sense of physical well-being?
Fatness doesn't have to be glorified or normalized because it is normal.
But this is glorifying, isn't it? Fat cannot be normal.
Not only is it normal,
how can it be normal? Aren't you marginalized?
But it's natural. It exists in every single species of animal on this planet.
This cannot be true. It may exist in pets because of us, but it cannot be true in the wilderness as no fat animal will survive. Or will the fat antelope outrun the lion?
You people conflate the fat agenda or whatever with this desire to be unhealthy or to neglect our health or to encourage other people to neglect their health. But that's a story that you made up in your mind.
Then what is this? Aren't you preaching to let go and accept our weight and not strive to improve in any aspect?
I'm just out here trying to make the world a safer place for fat people.
Fat people are safe from other people but not from diseases, so stop encouraging
fat people, healthy or not. Because shocking, health is not a prerequisite for safety. And it's really hard to be healthy when you're not getting equitable treatment under the healthcare system.
Even if that is true, the healthcare system is not to blame because of you gaining weight.
Something we're fighting for.
Channel that energy to losing weight and you won't even need the doctor.
Don't you have an ED if you are 600 pounds though?
Not necessarily. I know it's normal, but it's not healthy, and it's also not okay to be rude to people who are bigger, but I'm sorry, being your size is not healthy.
I have no personality traits except eating.
Sounds like excuse.
So you're wondering if there are plus-size friendly towels or towels for bigger bodies, and I'm here to tell you there are. As a frame of reference, I wear size 6X, and I've been able to find bath towels and towels for the beach that wrap around my entire body. Let me show you just how incredible these towels are. This right here is a bath sheet, and it fits around my entire body as a size 6X. And this right here is the oversized travel towel, which works as a beach towel. I can wrap this towel around my entire body, so if you're smaller than a 6X, it'll definitely fit you too. I'm super passionate about sharing resources and products that help me live my best plus-size life, and these towels are definitely it. You can find them linked up in my bio. If you want more plus-size friendly product recommendations, make sure to hit that follow button.
We usually call it a carpet.
Bro, that means she's a size XXXXXXXXL.
6X surely should be a sign that something needs to change.
You are saying blanket wrong.
How many times would it go around me?
We've seen a very significant pitting against each other on two sides of this issue, where the media has really made it like fat people versus diabetics when it comes to these medications. And the reality is that these two groups are incredibly overlapped, right? And what it really is all of us, diabetic or not, against these drug manufacturers who are just charging people up the butt for life-saving medication and have the capacity to produce it so that there is enough for everyone who needs it, for everyone who is prescribed it, and they choose not to.
They simply didn't have the ability to make it that fast. They are building labs at record speed to catch up to demand.
It's eating disordered people versus diabetic people.
Hello there. I am no car expert, but I do know that if your car, weighs less than 300 pounds, baby, I'm concerned for your safety.
I wonder what his mama drives because we all know that's his car too.
I'm sorry, there is no actual way that you weigh less than 300 pounds. Like, come on, be real.
You're right, I actually weigh 100 pounds. I was lying about it all.
Where is this 300 pounds thing coming from?
Besties, on my last post, I was never saying I weighed under 300 pounds. That maybe is how it came out, but it's also weird to care how much people weigh. Ask your dad how much I weigh. He knows.
Seriously? Like they need to work on their comprehension.
You seem to be really insecure about all of this. I don't understand. Then why would the car weigh under 300 pounds? I also got the impression you said you were under 300. Definitely in the wording, but no need to explain.
You know what I'm fucking tired of? I'm tired of people saying that all fat people do is sit around and eat all day. Guess fucking what? This is the first thing I've eaten all day. Yeah. Half of a fucking banana because I've been too busy. Because I feed everyone else around me better than I feed my own self. And that's something I'm working on. So no, fat people aren't fat because we just sit around and eat fucking McDonald's all day. I don't even fucking eat McDonald's. We're just fat because we're fat. Because bodies are different. I'm tired of that shit.
Where's Doctor now when you need him? The law of thermodynamics left the chat.
I think I see manipulation.
Got woken up by 6 by getting jumped on. Eating McDonald's for breakfast. It's cold.
I don't even eat McDonald's.
I just saw that video.
Just having one of those days. So I'm at McDonald's at curbside pickup waiting for the adult Happy Meals because it's going to cheer me up.
That box is huge.
Your Big Mac video is truly a piece of art and in my top 5 favorite Tik Toks.
A short guy. It's a preference. If a guy doesn't want to date a girl that's overweight, he's an ass.
Can we please put this age-old debate to bed? Like, it is so tiring at this point, trying to reiterate these things over and over and over again to these fucking dudes who won't listen. Like, at all. Women have preferences. Men have deal breakers. Would a woman prefer to date a man who's 6'5" and makes a ton of money? Sure. But is she also going to date the dude who's 5'8" and treats her really well? Yup, she sure will. But a dude isn't going to date a fat girl because she's a great girl and they have great conversations and they get along because he doesn't see her fit into his life. It's a deal breaker, not a preference for them.
Are you high? Women treat anyone they're not attracted to like they do the homeless. Y'all show dogs more personhood.
Perhaps you should put as much effort into getting fit as you do bashing men for wanting a fit woman. Just a thought.
Let's put it to bed. States all women and all men are suddenly exactly how you said and nothing else because you said it.
Strongly disagree with this. My wife is a BBW and I see many around me making similar choices because it's what we like.
So we should just date someone we aren't attracted to? I doubt that would make a big girl feel any better than being honest.
It's so goddamn annoying. Just date whoever TF you're attracted to.
It's not okay to be fat. I really hear you, Christine. I'm just a little curious about this. Didn't have the willpower to do it on your own? Needed some motivation? Don't worry. I get it.
It's not okay to be fat, but it's okay to be rude and unkind.
Do you never feel embarrassed?
I saw this comment and I wanted to respond right away and share it with everybody. Thank you so much for sharing this information. This helps me and tons of other plus size travelers. The fact that United, Delta, and American Airlines will also reimburse plus size passengers for their second seat, even though it's not policy, but out of goodwill, means so much to me, and I know it's going to help so many plus size travelers, so thank you so much for sharing this information. After doing even more research, I found that this is common among many airlines, even if they don't have a policy in place. So if you're a plus size passenger and you're going to be buying a second seat, hit up the airline before you do anything and see if you can get reimbursed after the fact. Thank you so much for helping your fellow plus size travelers out. This information is going to help so many of us, and I can't wait to talk about it further in more videos. If you're watching this and you don't already follow me, make sure to hit that follow button for more plus size travel tips.
Okay, I physically cannot sleep sitting down, and I've never slept on a flight, so I deserve 2 seats out of goodwill so I can lay down. And what about mothers with babies who want their baby to be able to lay down? Do they get an extra seat for their baby?
Pushing legal changes for being too much an entitled person.
Encouraging lazy people.
Let's talk about calorie deficits, actually. And I know you left this because you're trying to be funny, troll, haha, fatty, lose weight, calorie deficit. But instead, I'm just going to be really obnoxious and you're going to regret leaving this comment. Now, these knuckleheads love to pretend like they did science beyond high school level chemistry and invoke the name of the law of thermodynamics whenever we're talking about calories and body size. First of all, I want you to start gatekeeping thermodynamics from these dorks. Ask them how many laws there are. If they can't name them all, then they're not a real fan. And second of all, that theory is an incredible oversimplification of how the human body works. Do you know what our bodies love? Homeostasis. Do you know what weight loss does? Disrupt that homeostasis. For some people, this can mean weight loss and progressive weight loss. For many other people, it means your body clinging to every single pound possible. And the minute you go off that calorie deficit, it just wants to gain all the weight back. Plus the myriad of other factors that go into your body size, which basically boil down to your genetics, which is 70% responsible for your body size. It's bad and unhealthy advice.
A decade of a calorie deficit saw me gain about 100 pounds. Every time I've lost weight, I was in a calorie deficit. You're spreading misinformation.
Just sounds like you're lacking discipline and responsibility over your own body.
It's so hard to believe that the opposite is also true.
People will argue with you until their final dying breath that there's no way someone can be naturally fat. Your whole lineage, big, fat family tree could be in front of them and they'd be like, have you tried diet and exercise? This continues to be interesting as we look at how people talk about thin body types. Now, this was on a video that was about how celebrities are even thinner in person, and Zendaya came up. She's just super slim. I think for some of them, it's just their body type. Might just be genetics. She's just slim and tall. She works hard every day to stay that slim. Now, which is it? Are they naturally thin or are they working very hard? It just further proves to me that we put thinness on such this pedestal that we are willing to openly speak contradictory about it if it means defending the status. Where there's only one way that you can be fat and it's wrong, but there's multiple ways to be thin and they're all right. Maybe we just stop assuming things about people's bodies.
There's never been a fat plane, boat crush survivor. I wonder why.
Does it matter if someone is naturally fat or just fat as a result of certain behavior?
See, that's the thing about diet culture and fat phobia and growing up in a fat phobic society. We were all taught to believe that the problem was you and your body and not the way that the seats were designed, that the seatbelts were designed. Let me make this clear. Your body was never the problem. Growing up in a fat phobic society and diet culture ridden society was always the problem. We are fed so many messages that it's your fault, your individual responsibility to lose weight so you can fit in places. That is bullshit. And if you needed that reminder today, your body was never the problem and is not the problem. Society is.
Right? Fat activism is like, doctors don't kill fat people, right? Academic people, like scientists who are 30 years into the field and should know better.
Before we get into the video, let's thank one of our commenters for scarring us with counting every like.
If these commenters could have strung an intelligent sentence without constantly saying the word like, used out of context, then I would have listened further, as I agree with your opinions.
And the only like other Black kids on our street, like we were like playing with them, and one of the boys was like, well, you're fat. And I was like 9, and I just remember being like, I'm fat, like you know. And it's just so crazy that I can't remember like what my child.
747 in 70-minute video. 10 per minute. Every 6 seconds.
Like enjoying your food, like literally when you are in a good mood, your body absorbs more nutrition. They have research on this. It's like nuts.
Then this means only burgers and chocolate?
There's research that shows that weight discrimination, in fact, shortens life expectancy, like controlling for common psychological and physical risk factors.
Not the weight itself, but discrimination shortens life expectancy? But how is this study arranged? Are all people obese and the results based on their statements?
It's almost like a smokescreen or a red herring, or I think of it as like a catch-all or a dog whistle word. It kind of, I mean, it encapsulates a lot. You know, like so for example, that person who said that to you, he might be talking about your body. Right. He might just be using a word that he knows is going to end the conversation immediately. That word also, like when it comes to gender, right? It's a word that says you're not even really a girl.
Yeah.
How does fat mean not a girl?
So, right, like what remains, so 70% of our overall health is actually those factors, like largely determined by national policy. And then the remaining 30%, most of that is genetics.
Why are you in my comments blaming the individual when it is so clearly the fault of our government? Why are you in?
So like, again, long-term, what happens is that the weight is not successfully repressed. Dieting is not correlated with weight loss long-term. It is correlated with depression, anxiety, decreased cognition, decreased energy, and a 25% increased likelihood of developing an eating disorder. So like there is nothing, like when we think about any of the outcomes that people are looking for when they're dieting, the research does not bear out that any of those outcomes occur. In general, what we're seeing with people who quote unquote successfully maintain weight suppression, they have eating disorders.
Right.
So give up and die? And how is this what you have not an ED?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like, totally yes. And I think, like, I want to get back to your question and say, like, you know, in reality, what we know, okay, you know what? I have to share a couple more data points. And it is like, in general, when a patient, again, we know from research, when a patient is advised to lose weight, the likeliest outcome is an immediate binge. This leads to the immediate, like kind of like the action reaction. You go into a doctor and you're told to diet or lose weight. The likeliest thing that's going to happen is you're going to have a binge after that appointment. So it's like, it's really important to understand that restriction literally leads to binging. Like these are opposite sides of the same coin. People think that like binging is like some kind of crazy, weird, wild, horrible behavior. It only happens among dieters. Like only dieters binge.
Then what is the solution?
It's a completely natural biological thing. Like your body basically kind of overrides your brain and is like, we're in survival mode. I do not care. You need to get as much food in you as possible. It might be painful. It might be shameful, but like, we're just in here trying to save your life.
And what happens if you do not put the food in your mouth?
So everybody knows that the best way to treat diabetes is to lose some weight. I mean, that's what pretty much every health professional out there is telling us. But it's not actually true at all. In fact, studies have shown that weight loss doesn't benefit diabetics in the long run. Worse still, it can actually make your diabetes worse.
Weight loss can make diabetes worse? Isn't this spreading misinformation? How can any platform allow this? Since the flat earthers were censored due to spreading false information, shouldn't this fall in the same category? Or at least force some disclaimers.
Fatphobic society isn't ready for the truth.
Now, the reason that this isn't common knowledge is that the vast majority of studies only follow up participants for a maximum of 6 months. But those that go beyond 6 months, especially those that go beyond 2 years, show a very different picture. Whilst intentional weight loss leads to short-term improvements in blood sugar control, most type 2 diabetics will relapse within 18 months. You can find out more information about diabetes in my next webinar this Wednesday, the 2nd of February, but don't worry if you've missed it, you can always catch up later.
What then is the best way to treat type 2 diabetes? Please, this will be so helpful.
Thank you. The worst part of nursing school is having to listen to teachers go on about the dangers of being fat.
But surely it's the relapse and the regaining of the weight that makes it worse, and the weight loss itself has helped.
Hey TikTok, it's been a minute. I just gave myself a couple of weeks off so that I could rest and recuperate. But I'm back to remind you that being fat is not bad for your health. Yup, you heard me. It's not.
Of course, it is easier to lie to yourself than take responsibility and lose some weight.
Being fat is literally unfit. What are you on about? How are you a doctor?
I think you've got medicine mixed up with Grey's Anatomy.
How dare you drag other people down to be unhealthy with false information just because you are also unhealthy and don't want to feel left out?
Have coffee, but I really like soup for lunch. I have bone broth for lunch a lot.
You know, what I find most mental about this is that we've known for years that she is okay with glorifying her eating disorder. And I'm not judging because I have an eating disorder. Bone broth is not a suitable meal. And then to end your day with just eating vegetables?
Imagine accusing someone of having an eating disorder because they don't pound McDonald's all day. You are a bully.
This is not what she eats in a day, it's her wellness steps. She does eat. No, she doesn't have an ED.
But yet people continue to give her airtime, to give her a platform, to take her advice, because everyone is too afraid to be fat. I was at a big fancy Hollywood event years ago, and Gwyneth Paltrow was there, or as she had everyone refer to her as GP. And she was at a table with Rachel Zoe, and I'm not going to get too deep into Rachel Zoe, but I have my own opinions. And it was a seated dinner, and we had a set course, a set meal. And she loudly had to let everyone know in this very tiny room with Natalie Portman, Catherine O'Hara, you name it, they were there, that her and her table, which were a handful of her close friends, as she said, that they were going to have something different. Pizza, but not just any pizza, cauliflower crust pizza with no cheese. And I'm not shading anyone that likes cauliflower pizza. Go on, do your thing.
She looks and is healthier than all you obese people hating on her, that's for sure.
So dangerous, yet they keep rewarding it.
Right? Hoovering over 10 boxes of Little Debbie Christmas cakes is okay. But this is where the line is drawn. She flexed buying that many.
Our brain alone needs 8 slices of bread in carbs.
I'll take 10, please.
Who said that?
Go on, do your thing. But everyone just laughed like it was no big deal. And I'm not here to judge what people put in their bodies, especially as someone that has a restrictive eating disorder. And I get mocked all the time because I'm fat. So how dare I talk about not feeding my body, right? But this shit isn't normal, and it's affecting a whole other generation of young folks who think that eating like GP is appropriate, is okay. And I'm not saying that I have all the answers and I have it figured out, because I sure the hell don't. But with all the talk about Ozempic and all these other weight loss drugs, it's exhausting. It is okay to feed your body. Carbs are not the devil. Fat isn't bad. And I mean fat in your food and fat on your body. It's not bad. But hey, anything for $1, anything for the cost of people's mental health.
I bet you won't criticize the fact that Tess Holliday promotes obesity and thinks that it's perfectly okay to crush her own organs with fat.
Isn't this little miss? I don't even eat some days. You know we are getting blocked once she reads the truth, so it was nice to meet you.
Our bodies need calories. But there's a limit, Tess.
Yeah, but not too much. Tess literally overeats and the woman is healthy because I look through her Insta, she eats healthy foods.
Literally every skinny people I know eat one meal a day, but I'm judged. It's why I isolate. Can we just have our own island and be beautiful by ourselves?
Absolutely. What should we call it?
Fat privilege? Don't look at us island?
Dieting can and does work for a lot of people in the short term. What you want to look at are the studies that track the success of diets, success meaning sustained weight loss, long-term success of diets, 5 years and longer. Because that's really where we see people gaining all of the weight back, if not more.
She says you'll get fat again.
Controversial opinion. If you have to put on a fat suit in order to portray a fat character, you are not the best actor or actress for the role.
If you do not have superpowers, you are not the best actor for the role of Superman. What a dumb thing to say.
The point of acting is being something you're not in a convincing way. You want someone just to read lines.
I'm fine with a fat suit in a very specific situation. If the character has to lose a ton of weight rapidly, use the suit cause it's safer overall.
Or we could just stop making films that require weight loss.
It depends. A person the size of Brendan Fraser's character in The Whale would have difficulty shooting a film. Mobility matters.
That fatphobic film should never have been made in the first place.
I agree. Andrew Lincoln was a terrible Rick.
I don't know who that is.
British actor that put on an American accent to play an American.
Okay, are British or American actors explicitly kept out of films and TV the way fat people are?
With your logic, it should have went to an American with no questions asked.
No, it is a stupid opinion. Since when does weight have anything to do with the quality of acting ability?
The fact that this is controversial.
It is actually perfectly fine to be visibly fat. It is actually perfectly okay. Like, it's not bad and not the worst thing. Like, so many people want to act like being visibly fat is the worst thing. It's perfectly fine. Like, it's actually okay. It's actually okay to have a double chin. It's actually okay to have a big arm. It's actually okay to have big arms, big legs, your stomach hanging, rolls. Like, to have movement, jiggle in your body when it moves. It's okay. It's actually okay. It's perfectly okay. It's perfectly fine. And not even fine, but it's totally neutral. Just like how anyone's body looks. It's fine. It's okay. Like, it's actually fine. Who cares?
It's fine to be fat, but if you're ever insecure about it, how dare you? You are fatphobic.
You don't know how insecure you sound.
I'm sure you've mentioned this before.
Tell that to your heart.
You're trying to convince yourself.
Research has shown that it is not okay to be fat because of increased risk of various health conditions.
Fat people experience oppression for being fat in a way that thin people do not experience oppression for being thin. Fat people are denied access to health insurance, life insurance.
What reality do you live in? The insurance brokers and carriers are for-profit organizations, not wishmakers. They solely exist to make money, otherwise they will go bankrupt. Their whole business concept is based on determining the risks for premiums. What is so difficult to understand? The higher the weight, the higher the risk. The fatter you are, the likelihood of disease and death is greater and their costs higher. Do you want them to make all the families of the past obese 30-year-olds millionaires? You want the whole system to collapse? Do you even know how money works? Are you competent to discuss this topic and its consequences to the whole economy and society in general? Are you maybe an economist? Can't you see the big picture?
Life-saving medical care. We're passed over for jobs or promotions that we're qualified for.
How can you tell the business owners and board members how to run their own business? It's all about productivity. If they think a person is not fit for the job, he's not, for their business and money. Start a company and hire all obese people and let's see how many will regularly attend and measure the effectiveness. You are not competent to discuss other people's businesses.
We can't find the clothes that we want or sometimes any clothes at all in our size.
Should we make a petition for all clothing companies to make bedsheets instead of clothes and make them lose money? Should we make them produce clothing they don't think is profitable? Should we force all businesses collapse just to make someone happy?
We are excluded from or publicly humiliated in places like airplanes, stadiums, or amusement parks, and it is agony to live with that oppression. And we need fat people to be sharing these stories because they are bringing to light something that has existed in the shadows for a long time. But when thin people hear those stories and claim that they experience the same thing, not only is it not true, but it robs those stories of their impact. We are all struggling, but our struggles are inherently different.
So I do hate body shaming, but there is a choice that someone has to make to be big.
This is just gushing. Hashtag first world problems.
Body confidence won't unclog your arteries.
For amusement parks, I think it's just a safety issue, like a jacked 300 pounds bodybuilder wouldn't be allowed on some rides either.
No, we don't. I am not oppressed. I am not denied shit. Curious who has to play the biggest victim.
You're not oppressed. You are being a victim. You reap the consequences of your choices.
Or work out.
Here's the deal. Any person, regardless of what your body looks like, can be body shamed, and that sucks and it shouldn't be happening. And there is an inherent and fundamental difference between body shaming and fat oppression.
First, let's watch the whole video. The question is, do you think people who want to lose weight are fat-phobic? Please listen to this political answer and unnecessary philosophizing and excuses.
I don't know. Is that person doing or saying something that is causing harm to fat people? Are they choosing to lose weight because of negative beliefs they hold around fatness and fat people? Are they even the one choosing weight loss for themselves? Or is the weight loss coerced? I believe that the majority of intentional weight loss is coerced. I don't believe in a fat-phobic society we are given the freedom to make that choice for ourselves. When every day we are fed hundreds of messages telling us that we have to lose weight. We don't live in a world that is built for people of all sizes. How do you make a choice when there's only one option? Obviously, people can do what they want with their own bodies, but we have seen a pattern of people choosing intentional weight loss and then separately causing harm to fat people with their words and actions. Because losing weight is hard. And in order to do it, I think people convince themselves that being fat is bad, because that then justifies the tortures they put their bodies through in order to succeed.
Let's try to understand.
I don't know. Is that person doing or saying something that is causing harm to fat people?
So you are not addressing the losing weight aspect but the person instead?
Are they choosing to lose weight because of negative beliefs they hold around fatness and fat people?
What are the negative beliefs? I am immobile, have diabetes and other medical conditions? Please note that physical health is closely connected to mental state.
Are they even the one choosing weight loss for themselves?
Well, yes, as the question is, want to lose weight.
Or is the weight loss coerced?
But the question is, people who want to lose weight.
I believe that the majority of intentional weight loss is coerced. I don't believe in a fat-phobic society we are given the freedom to make that choice for ourselves.
What choice? The choice of losing weight? But you are obviously fat. All of these statements are masked to sound so smart, but are so impossible to understand.
And every day we are fed hundreds of messages telling us that we have to lose weight. We don't live in a world that is built for people of all sizes.
But you get how absurd that sounds.
How do you make a choice when there's only one option?
What do you mean one option? One option is reason for losing weight? Options for thinking and feeling? Or you mean staying fat versus losing weight? Because you are obviously choosing to be obese.
Obviously, people can do what they want with their own bodies, but we have seen a pattern of people choosing intentional weight loss.
So they are choosing.
And separately causing harm to fat people.
No, the fat people are just jealous of them.
With their words and actions. Because losing weight is hard. And in order to do it, I think people convince themselves that being fat is bad. Because
aesthetics aside, for medical reasons of course it's bad.
That then justifies the tortures they put their bodies through in order.
So diet and exercise is torturing your body, but being obese is not?
To succeed.
Is this not just another way of policing people's bodies?
It's funny because they don't even see the irony in the entire video, lol.
Wait, so are they convincing themselves or are they being coerced?
Depends. I would think a lot of times both. I was specifically referring to a convincing that happens after a person is coerced into WL.
So am I fatphobic for wanting to lose weight so people will be nicer to me, and also to pass better?
I mean when health is an issue, being fat is bad, like RN. I'm fat and it's an issue for me, so I think for me it's bad.
Do you think it's fatphobic to lose weight solely because they want to get rid of physical issues?
First dinner at our new home, guys.
Oh, baby, we've got Italian pizzas from an Italian as well, with Italian Murano glasses as well. They look absolutely beautiful. And Diet Coke, yeah, I want a diet right now. I did get that banoffee pie for afterwards. Have a little look at that, baby, look. Ooh. Look at that fresh banoffee pie as well. Proper Italian pasta as well. Curly fries.
I can't believe this. He's walked away
Rachel,
from his takeaway after one slice of pizza. What is going on?
Literally, I genuinely feel, I'm not even joking right now, I'm not BSing, I generally feel full. I've had one bagel the whole day.
There should be more ad regulations.
We believe you.
Straight to the pizza as soon as the video has ended.
Your acting is phenomenal.
One bagel the whole day. This is evening, 6 o'clock in the evening. One bagel and a Red Bull, right? Not the healthiest options, but like, literally I had a gummy in the morning, a vegan gummy.
What are these gummies you're talking about? So apple cider vinegar gummies, and what, this makes you...
Literally, you can see...
suppresses your appetite, does
I opened
it?
them earlier, took off the seal and had one earlier. And like, they weren't like the best tasting thing in the world. But when I had it, I swallowed it, had it, and then literally I didn't feel full. My stomach felt a bit weird. Look, I was like, that's weird. First time I've taken them properly, and these ones anyway. And yeah, literally, all I've eaten today is like one bagel, one slice of pizza,
so if you guys,
one bite of the cheesecake. Go show them the cheesecake.
Yeah, if you guys want to lose weight, you can purchase this
They're only
link.
like a tenner or some crap, 10, 12 pound bargain, mate.
Honestly, they must think we just fell out of a freaking tree.
Some people must have because they have just bought a new house.
There's no way he's full after one slice. Those gummies don't work.
They just gave me acid reflux, but I still felt hungry.
Hello there, everyone. This is just a friendly reminder for those who do not know. Fat shaming and skinny shaming are not the same. Let me explain. Skinny shaming is bullying. Fat shaming is systemic oppression. One is bullying, the other contributes to the marginalization of that group. Thin people are the standard. Thin, white, cis, het, man are the beauty standard. So yeah, being skinny shamed, that's bullying. Because you're not systemically oppressed for your body size. Whereas fat people are. So it's not just bullying. Right, Phantom? Yeah, he's annoyed with you. Like to those who don't get it.
Coco, do you get it? You get it, right? Yes, you do, don't you?
So yeah, they're not the same. They never have been. They never will be. Look how many freckles I have.
Coco. Oh, hi.
So yeah, they're not the same. Thank you though. Bye.
So bullying is okay? Get a grip.
Oh, they won't like this. Skinny is the status quo, so they can't be oppressed.
I think you're a little confused. 99% of the time, I might be exaggerating a tiny bit, but almost every single time that a fat suit is used in a film, it's for a fat joke. That's why it's there. Why would I want them to keep the fat character that they have created with a fat suit so that they can make their fat joke in their film? Why would I want that? The answer is not make the actor gain weight. The answer is not CGI. The answer is don't have the fat character because you only have it there to make your fat joke. Got it?
So ban all fat characters?
Nothing Hollywood has ever done in regards to fat people gives me any confidence that this isn't just another fat joke.
What should have Hollywood done, and why should Hollywood be concerned for anything except money?
I'm just gonna say something, and that's the last I'm gonna say about it. Okay, there are worse things you can be than fat. You could be hungry.
So you are always hungry? All the time? So you can be both? Hungry and fat forever?
Oh my god, why haven't I seen you in ages? Miss your content, my friend.
I am so glad you're back to posting. Glad you're doing and feeling better.
It is 2023. We need to stop commenting on strangers' videos that thinness, getting smaller, inherently equals getting healthier. Never mind all the unhealthy thin people. Never mind there are 1,000,000,001 other things that affect someone's health. But you have to comment on the fat person's video. You have to comment on the video of the fat person who is just trying to help other fat people. People who are taught and told and scolded and bullied every day into hating their bodies. Trying to help them not hate themselves, or hate themselves just a little bit less.
Wouldn't you achieve that by losing weight?
But you're making videos about being obese and fat is not a health concern.
They aren't advocating for diet culture. They're saying stop making excuses for being a porker and do something about it.
So this commenter, and I'm sure lots of people, believe that it is possible for a film or a television show to use a fat suit in a respectful way. And the example they give, if the role is a complex, well-written role that doesn't demonize plus-size people, you don't have an issue with it. I'm going to ignore the suit looks realistic because I've never seen a fat suit that looks realistic, but let's ignore that. If the role is a complex, well-written role for a fat character that doesn't demonize plus-size people, why would you use a fat suit? Why wouldn't you just hire a fat actor?
Wow, thanks for the idea. But who are you to tell the movie directors who to pick?
Economically, it makes no sense, because however much you would have to pay a fat actor, that's a drop in the bucket compared to what you would have to pay makeup artists and prosthetic people to put together this fat suit. You have to spend the time of cramming a skinny actor into this ugly fat suit to get the performance you're looking for. Or you could just hire a fat person. Just cast a fat actor. That remains the answer. If you've created a fat character, hire a fat actor. It's that simple.
The purpose of a movie is to make money, not to make you happy.
I mean, movies have a long history of casting based on potential box office draw. Like, people love Brendan Fraser and wanted to watch his comeback. Would the movie have done as well or made as much money with a less known, 600 pounds actor? Economically, I can see the rationale for going for the big star.
And if the character doesn't demonize fat people, Then why would you demonize them by not allowing them to play a fat person?
If weight gain or loss is part of the plot and it would be unsafe to ask an actor to do so,
then we need to stop making those stories.
The title is, Thin Folks Should Also Be Invested in Dismantling Fatphobia for This Very Reason. Find the reason.
Someone recently commented asking if I could wake up tomorrow and be 150 pounds lighter healthily, would I? And my answer to that is no.
Bullshit.
And that's because fat phobia as a system of oppression controls all people of all sizes. Because thinness under fat phobia doesn't really have a physical look. Meaning that no matter how thin you get, you're never really going to satisfy the beast that is fat phobia. That's why you'll see even the thinnest people get called fat as an insult, even though it's the farthest thing from the truth. Because while only some of us may be fat, a fear of fatness is forever. The fear of fatness is what unites us. And it's what controls us. And it's what I'm trying to break us all free from. Because being fat is not something to be afraid of. And that fear of fatness will only exist as long as systemic fat phobia exists. As long as it is harder to exist as a fat person because you don't have access to the same things that thin people do.
But why do you want all people to be fat? That way you would feel better? Why wish fatness to someone? What's your angle?
statistically, over 90% of people who intentionally lose weight gain it back over 5 to 10 years.
If you would be responsible and disciplined, you would not gain weight again.
You don't have access to medical care. You do get paid less. You are not treated equitably. You are treated like literally shit all the time. But that's not because being fat is inherently bad. It's because of fat phobia. And if we would just all work together to dismantle it, we'd all be free from this controlling hand that lives above all of us. And if I woke up tomorrow 150 pounds later, I'd still be living under this hand that's controlling me. So I guess my real answer is I don't care. I don't care. If I woke up tomorrow 150 pounds later, nothing would change for me personally. Nothing would change as far as how I live my life, how I operate, the things that I care about. Because at the end of the day, 150 pounds later, I'd still be a fat bitch.
Lol, I'm so sorry you don't have the ability to use Google. Fat people do everything thin people can. Lizzo? Hell, we have fat Olympic medalists.
If fatness isn't bad, how is it good?
What is your take on the opinion that the fatter you are, the worse your mobility is? That's just not true across the board. Thin people can have arthritis. Fat people can be dancers, runners, athletes.
What do you think allows one to identify as fat?
I recommend reading your Fat Friends Medium article, Who's Fat Enough to Be Fat?
You mean you don't know? And you think that you're not eating and you're getting
I don't want to get malnourished either.
Do you look like you're malnourished?
We need to invest the Savage Awards.
I think that it's really scary for thin people to realize that you can do everything right and still be fat. You can go to your PE classes, you can do sports, you can eat right, you can, you can do all the things and still be a fat person as an adult or as a kid.
Or just try harder, that's what my dad says to me.
I'm so sorry that's how your parents treat you. You deserve so much more care and compassion than that.
Bodies are really, really complex. And I think especially for teenagers like this person, it's really easy to assume that your experience with your body is the rule. And the reality is that there is no rule. You might be able to control your weight 100% when you are 15, 16, 17, 18. But there's going to come a time when you might be doing all the same things and you're going to gain weight. you're gonna maybe become fat. And you're gonna blame yourself because...
Who else will be there to blame? Oh, forgot, the government.
Why are you in my comments blaming the individual when it is so clearly the fault of our government? You held this mentality, right? And you blamed other fat people for their sizes. And you're either going to then start to hate yourself, or you're going to realize that you were wrong for all those years, that you thought that it was every fat person's fault that they were fat. But even when you put all the disorders that cause fatness aside, right, lipedema, Derkums, thyroid issues, PCOS, put all those aside, people's bodies still change. You still grow. You still get bigger as you age because your body needs to protect itself.
Protect itself from what?
You get bigger because your body protects itself? Dog, what you protecting from? A nuke?
You still grow. You still get bigger as you age because your body needs to protect itself. And that's what it does. So no, I didn't miss every single PE class. I've just always been fat. So that's it.
So if a fat guy's starved, he's going to stay fat?
You do not just create matter. Expend more calories than you intake. That's it.
Stop making excuses. Fat people tend to do this all the time.
And I thought I was delusional.
Bud will throw out every excuse to not go to the gym.
Where are the fat famine survivors?
This is a very common misconception about lipedema and is only brought up when people are intending to be fat phobic. So let's actually dig into why you're wrong. In the earlier stages of lipedema, you are correct. It primarily impacts the legs and sometimes the arms. But once you get into the later stages like stage 4, which is what I have, it can also impact the fupa, the lower abdomen, and even breast tissue. It's brought up in this way to fat shame people who are fat and have lipedema. The thing is, I don't care why I'm fat, and neither should you. Of course I'm fat and I have lipedema. It doesn't really matter the reason why I'm fat because I'm still fat, right?
What are the differences in early stages between normal fatness and this? I've been vaguely suspect, but I'm not sure what the differences are.
Because I'm still fat, right? The lipedema and lymphedema labels do not exist to excuse my fatness. They exist so that I can get the medical care I need. My lipolymphedema may be a cause of some of my fatness. Obviously it is, but my fatness does not need an excuse. Nobody's fatness needs to be excused by a medical condition. It should not matter why a person is fat, because fat people, regardless of why they are fat, deserve rights, healthcare, safety, access, all these things. And if you think that me being fat is okay because I have lipedema, you're part of the problem, because it was always okay that I was fat. What's not okay is your ongoing abuse of fat people. Hope that helps.
How do you know you got it and you're not just fat like me?
It sucks that treatment isn't covered. I'm in Canada, maybe it is where you live. Because of fat phobia, I'm at stage 2 for now.
Is it okay to be fat?
Yes, as long as it's healthy.
Why?
Because it's someone's choice, and if they like being overweight, then that's okay.
Is it okay to be fat?
Yeah.
Why?
I guess it's just you let people do what they want. It's not really restricting like what other people want to do with their lives, I guess.
Is it okay to be fat?
Yeah.
Why?
The way you look shouldn't determine your personality.
But what does okay stand for? We have to define its meaning. If you mean acceptable, socially acceptable, then yes, sure, it's okay to be fat. If it means satisfactory or good, then no, since fat is unhealthy.
A choice?
I didn't decide I wanted to be chubby. I'm healthy, I eat healthy, work out, and I'm still chubby. I didn't decide to be like this.
What is the most effective way that people can lose weight, in your experience as a doctor?
Right. One of the things...
Eat less food, do more exercise.
Yes. Amputation.
If you burn more calories than you take in, you lose weight. Easy.
I don't know how to break it to you because I don't want to crush your dreams of living in your fat-phobic bliss, but lipedema is diet and exercise resistant.
This does not sound right. Let's Google it. We know from research that exercise helps lymph move through the lymphatic system. It may decrease the risk of developing lymphedema and decrease the signs and symptoms of lymphedema.
So if someone with this wanted to lose the weight, is there any way they could?
LMAO. Exercise is critical for lymphedema.
Swimming is exercise though?
The fat acceptance movement is the only movement that does not require movement.
Hate to see people promoting obesity like this. Jesus. Very unhealthy lifestyle you're living. I'm just worried about you, okay?
Nice one. But joke aside, it's obvious that this is not her regular eating, so she can afford it. Anyone can, from time to time.
She's so brave.
I was getting a salad the other day and the bloke behind me said, "Bit late for that, isn't it?"
I love a girl with a healthy appetite.
LMAO very much. Just very concerned about her health for real.
Fat people aren't taken seriously, and that's a huge problem. It does not matter what accomplishments I have. It does not matter what I do. It doesn't matter who I am. I will always be seen first and foremost by most of society as fat. Therefore delusional. Therefore unintelligent. Lazy. Ugly. Unhealthy. On the verge of death. Emphasis again on delusional. Fat people are seen for their fat before they are seen as a person.
But appearance tells a lot about a person's character, that's a fact.
It is the invisible intro to every single conversation. It is the unsaid words as you walk into a room, knowing that your body is being seen and your body is being scrutinized. Knowing that the way that you could make most people really fucking happy, especially family members, more so than, again, any accomplishments, is losing weight and finally getting thin. It's disgusting. And no matter how confident of a person you are, that shit gets to you. It's systemic. It's really fucked up. So.
Why all this trouble to preach and be a victim instead of taking responsibility?
It's your own decision to be fat.
Just lose weight instead of wasting time on complaining.
Millions of people are also dying from weight-related illnesses and diseases every single day, but you don't care about that.
I think part of what makes me so sad about pro-ED spaces online is that they normalize this sentiment. They normalize preferring to unalive than just looking away that is conventionally unattractive. When the reality is that we all dislike the way that we look sometimes, but the goal is to develop coping skills so that you can handle that distress, because this is all temporary. This is all temporary, right? And this is all temporary. Your thoughts, your feelings, your urges, they will pass.
Something helpful I heard. Be grateful you have a body. Can you imagine what you'd do without a body? Nothing.
Then respect your body, not abuse it.
And I hope that you have the coping skills to deal with that distress long enough for it to pass. Because regardless of what you look like, you deserve a life worth living. You deserve happiness and safety and love. You deserve all of these things, no matter what you look like. And I, like you, deserve to not be harassed or belittled or abused for what we look like.
Imagine leaving hate comments about a professional model's appearance. It's giving jealousy.
She is a model?
So while I doubt that you actually look anything like me, if you did, you still deserve all these things. And I really hope that you have people in your life who are supporting you to help you develop these coping skills so that you can navigate these feelings without having urges to unalive or taking steps towards unaliving. Because genuinely, as someone who has been through those urges, it's really hard, but getting to the other side of that is really worth it. And I love myself, I love the way I look, and I hope that one day you can feel the same way.
Why is your advice to accept the weight instead of making better choices and live healthier?
This really is all temporary. I hope that person finds freedom from their toxic worldview. Love your kindness here.
I am often dissatisfied with my body. Other plus-size people like you look amazing. But when I see myself, I struggle.
It amazes me the things that thin people can get away with in regards to food and eating. Like, for example, there is a pickle kit for sale now on TikTok. And it is $20 for one pickle, mind you, but that's beside the point, because people are taking pickles and stuffing them with like candy and Takis and wrapping the pickles in like fruit roll-ups and then eating them. And I'm like, a fat person would get bullied off of the face of the planet if they ever posted that.
But a thin person obviously does not eat that on regular basis, and a fat person already ate his share of food for his lifetime.
And people are buying them and thinking, oh my god, it's so tasty, it's so good. What? First of all, $20 for one pickle. And they've sold like 5,000. Second of all, what? Like, I'm just shocked. Like, the foods that a fat person can't even post any food. I could be eating a salad and they'd be like, I bet you made that salad dressing with bacon grease.
That genuinely sounds disgusting, to be honest. How do they eat that?
None of what I'm about to say will be remotely surprising, but I just got back from the doctor, had some of my moles checked out, and you should do that, by the way, if you haven't already. And the nurse was like, wow, your blood pressure is so good. Like, I had never heard a nurse be that shocked and excited and surprised before. I wasn't shocked, surprised, or excited because I know that my blood pressure is fine. Just another day of being a big bitch.
It probably went along the line of, your blood pressure is okay for your weight.
Is your blood pressure normal, average, or like low normal? Because if it's normal, yeah, that's effed up. But I get that comment as a straight-sized person.
I get that all the time. Especially for your weight, or you're so healthy for being overweight.
I'm so glad that someone posted this because this shows you that bones are literally different. Like, you see? Like, big boned, small boned. Never mind. That's actually a gorilla on the right side. Sorry.
Some people in the comments were about to use this as an excuse.
You was giving me hope for a second there.
I was about to quit the gym.
A veggie sandwich. Literally just has veggies. They gave me 2 chips, although I asked for an apple, but that's okay. Oh, they gave me the wrong sandwich. Oh no! Turkey with bacon and cheese. I'm really upset right now. I'll try it. This is not a veggie sandwich. Wow. Alright, well, here we go. It's not bad. Bacon. It's pretty tasty. Honey, that is not what I asked for.
Her order was auto-corrected.
They've been giving her the wrong order for the past 20 years.
And they accidentally gave me 2 sandwiches. Oh no.
I am a fat girl. Where are the fat people at? Okay, I have eyes. More of you should be clapping. Right, so I'm a plus size girl. I actually do not like body positivity, and this is why. It's because body positivity used to be for people in marginalized bodies, right? Like plus size bodies, disabled bodies, and now body positivity has been taken by a bunch of skinny bitches who just sit weird in a chair. And they just go, look, when I sit, my organs come out of my body. This is normal. I'm like, fuck you.
But once you claimed that obese people are not marginalized.
Body positivity is for everyone. She called them skinny bitches for being insecure. A lot of people are scared of fat, even fat people.
It's been taken by fat people who eat too much when it was for people whose bodies have something they can't control and that they get judged for.
So if someone's underweight, they're not included?
Where's my salad? I forgot to order salad. Oh my god.
Even the cat had to turn away.
Seems like it wasn't the first time she forgot.
Okay, wait, keep up with this. The thin people that hate fat people don't hate fat people because they're fat. They hate them because every time they see a fat person that is simultaneously happy, it invalidates their entire experience of being thin and being afraid of being fat.
Isn't this a lot of unnecessary mental gymnastics? Why would someone care? And why is it us versus them?
I think they're just hungry.
It nullifies all their self-punishment, and that's too much to bear.
This comment makes no sense.
This is true. As a former thin person who hated fat people, I agree. Also now fat and living amazing life, having a nice family, I'm like, what was I thinking?
Send them my way. I'm fat and unhappy. It'll make them feel better.
Biggest challenge is my mobility. It's hard for me to stand a lot, so I usually just grab whatever's quick and easy.
That's what it sounds like you're saying. That walking to a salad is harder than walking to a pizza.
It's a situation of life or death. It's time for the honest truth.
He's not rude, he's raw and real.
When I say that there's nothing you can say to me about like my weight and my size that affect me or upset me, I'm being very genuine because I've been fat my entire life and I know that I am hot. Like it's just like you can't argue that. Most importantly, my account is for other fat people to feel valid and know that they are not alone. But if thin people want to listen, that would also be great and very much appreciated.
Body positivity and confidence is great, but overconfidence and egotism is bad.
They don't see us as real people, so they don't want to take the time to listen and learn.
It ain't that deep.
I know that I am hot, so many languages, and you decided to speak facts.
Let's go through some of the reasons, other than paralysis, someone might need a wheelchair. As I go through this list, I want you to remember that this is not for 24/7 usage for most people, right? Wheelchairs are used for some people all the time. For other people, in just specific situations where they cannot walk as long as needed for that situation. That's because all disabilities exist on a spectrum, right? For this conversation, we're talking about mobility disabilities. So that goes from, needing mobility assistance always to, in certain scenarios.
But either you need or don't. Why overcomplicate? Just wait for amusing comparison. Remember the stroller wheelchair metaphor?
I think we should do away with strollers because toddlers can stand. They can walk pretty far actually. If you hold their hand, they can get around fine. You know why we use strollers? because we do need them. We need them. You cannot tell me that we do not need strollers. And we use strollers for kids who are pretty big, right? 4, 5, 6 years old. You're using a stroller because kids get tired. Their muscles are underdeveloped, just haven't gotten the chance to grow yet.
Well, this is even better.
Another example of this would be glasses, right? So vision impairment. There are people who are 100% blind, and then there are people who like have an astigmatism, right? And from here to here, we use glasses for all these people, but we use them with different prescription levels. And that doesn't mean that like this person doesn't use glasses because they can see well enough. No, everyone gets glasses. There isn't a glasses shortage. If you have a need for glasses, you wear them regardless of where on the ability spectrum you are.
Glasses.
Not worth trying to understand.
Here are many reasons why someone might use a wheelchair. Here are more reasons someone might use a wheelchair.
Let's see the list. Comment aside, it looks like you are debunking yourself. Nowhere does it say obesity. I know you will say that's not what this reply is for. But let's be real, and please note the reasons. When do you need a wheelchair? Discomfort using crutches, diagnosis of permanent disability, weakness due to old age and recurring health condition, that's it. What is your argument?
Something that was left off that list was pregnancy, which I really want to bump up because that is another important one. Most of the things on that list require ambulatory usage of a wheelchair. So next time you hear or see someone who you think is mobile using a wheelchair, instead of harassing that person, maybe think about this list. And my extra special challenge for you is to do that even if the person is fat.
This is honestly such a good alternative explanation. Thank you.
Since people were so triggered by the stroller example.
The way you talk about it, you're encouraging people, even people who don't need them, to want a wheelchair.
You must get tired of educating.
People really struggling to understand that some people need to sit down sometimes.
Go ahead. Let's light this candle, huh? I mean, sure.
Wow, I'm existing. I must be promoting then.
This argument is used a lot, but if we look at all your other videos, you are encouraging gaining weight and accepting an active lifestyle.
Like people are suddenly going to start aspiring to be fat if they see too many fat people who aren't trying to diet.
Promote away.
Why are people like this? Why do people say stuff like this and stuff like this, yet they have stuff like this in their bio?
Thank you for helping me stick to my weight loss goals.
How is this video helping you with your weight loss exactly?
Oh, just a reminder that I never want to be like you and the rest of your delusional community.
Thought so. So you're a mental health advocate, yet here you are, causing mental harm to me and my community and all fat people. Gotcha.
I do not get it. You're commenting this on a post speaking out against the physical and mental health harm that unsolicited advice and unsolicited body comments cause on people, especially marginalized people. I'm talking about the mental health and the physical health harm that behavior causes to people, to marginalized folks, right? Yet, as a mental health advocate, you're using me as fatspo, and you're actively causing harm, that mental health harm that I'm talking about in this video, in the original video, and you're perpetuating that, yet you're a mental health advocate. Je ne comprends pas. Je ne comprends pas. Je ne comprends pas. I do not understand.
One study found that adults with excess weight had a 55% higher risk of developing depression over their lifetime compared to people that did not struggle with obesity. Other research linked being overweight with significant increases in major depression, bipolar disorder, and panic disorder or agoraphobia.
The math ain't mathin'.
Plus size travelers deserve better. This article came out just a few days ago, and we're going to talk about it in this video. All I had to do was read the title of this article, and I was automatically upset. A British Airways passenger was stuck in his seat for 3 hours after landing and had to be taken out of his first class seat with a hoist. What this passenger had to experience is unacceptable, and this is the exact reason why I started my plus-size travel petition this year. And as a matter of fact, they actually linked to the CNN article that talks about my petition in this article. I'm fighting every single day for inclusivity in the airline industry. That way, things like this don't happen to plus-size passengers, because this is absolutely unfathomable. This passenger did what all those people who say to do in my comments, just simply upgrade to first class, and this should prove as an example to you why that doesn't always work or apply.
But these are different seats. The passenger was seated in 1A, a much desired seat that is typically reserved for Executive Club Gold Card holders, The Sun reported. Business Class Experts, a travel website, says that seats in British Airways first class are nearly 2 feet wide.
If only there was a way around it.
If only there was a solution.
When you become famous for the wrong reasons.
A few moments later.
Then you try to revive the topic, create and place some products around it to monetize.
As a plus-size traveler and travel enthusiast, I've been on a mission to make travel more accessible and comfortable for everyone. Throughout my journey, I've noticed a lack of resources specifically catering to the needs of plus-size travelers. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and create something that can truly make a difference for plus-size travelers. Now introducing my carefully curated plus-size travel checklist. This checklist includes 30 essential items that have been selected with plus-size travelers in mind, making your journey smoother and stress-free. You can find the complete list by clicking the link in my bio.
Plus-size travel and fashion and lifestyle advocate. Plus-size travel. Plus-size fashion. Plus-size lifestyle creator.
Let's embark on unforgettable adventures together, embracing the joy of travel with confidence and ease. Happy travels, my fellow plus-size wanderers.
Cuteness overload.
Calorie overload.
Air travel poses significant challenges for plus-size individuals due to inconsistent policies across airlines. It's incredibly frustrating and anxiety-inducing to navigate the uncertainty of keeping our seats on flights. That's why I initiated my plus-size travel petition, urging the Federal Aviation Administration, or the FAA, to mandate that all airlines clearly state their customer-size policies within their operations and on their websites. Join me in advocating for change to ensure a more transparent and inclusive air travel experience for everybody, regardless of their size. Click the link in my bio to sign my petition today.
Just going to leave these here.
Your advocating for change can always start in the gym.
Do you want to see a bait and switch?
Losing weight for your health is not fatphobic, and if you think otherwise, you are fucking delusional.
Okay, so that's the establishing comment, and I don't necessarily agree with it. I've never heard anyone say that people losing weight specifically for their health was fatphobic, but if they did, I could understand disagreeing with that stance. But let's see how she goes on.
The fact that there's a large group of people that actually think in their brains that losing weight intentionally is fatphobic.
It changed. Did you hear it?
Losing weight for your health, losing weight intentionally.
What was her mistake? Can't you intentionally lose weight for health reasons? The reason on one hand, the way on the other.
Did you hear it?
Losing weight for your health, losing weight intentionally.
No, I'm not going to make the claim that this was an intentional bait and switch, but it was obviously a bait and switch. She went from people losing weight for their health to people losing weight intentionally. And these are not the same thing unless you think that weight correlates perfectly with health. And it doesn't. Claiming that you are losing weight for your health when the evidence doesn't back it up, that is fatphobic, whether you intend it or not.
So many people intentionally misinterpret what we mean by using weight loss as the first and foremost treatment for every health issue is fatphobic. Or, losing weight for your health and then going on social media and promoting disordered eating is fatphobic.
I don't eat that kind of meat. I haven't really eaten it since I've been here.
You're not gonna fade away. You're gonna be fine.
I still have to eat something.
No. You're eating the food that belongs to the next 4 years ahead of time. So if you don't eat, you're gonna be alright. At your weight, body got the reserve that you don't eat anything for a week or two, you're not gonna have anything gonna happen.
But like in a hospital when taking medication and having to take different medicine, you have to have food in your system to take the medicine, not to be nauseated. But the dog food that they give me here is not, I don't eat stuff like that.
And that's not dog food. That's very good food.
Well, I don't.
Why is she talking like she's some kind of medical professional? The only thing she's a professional of is eating.
How can he say this without laughing? He's serious?
What's one thing that happened to you in your lifetime that made you look at your body in a negative light? I'll go first. But before we get into it, I want to put a trigger warning on this video. When I was 7 years old, I remember how much my mom hated my body, but she loved keeping up appearances. And this one time, we had to go shopping with my aunt, which was a rare occasion. I was going to be a flower girl in her wedding. My mom used to hate taking me shopping since I was a fat kid. It was more difficult to find clothes for me, and she hated that. Not to mention we were super poor, so going shopping wasn't something we did a whole lot. But I will never forget that day, and this is why. We found a dress, my mom took me into the fitting room, and she tried to put the dress on me, and guess what? It didn't fit. But it was the first of many. My mom was super pissed off and embarrassed, and so she slapped me across the face and told me that she was embarrassed because I was fat and nothing would ever fit me.
We have to note that no memory can be perfect and our brain edits it with time. Not to say that this did not happen, but be a little skeptical.
Studies suggest that memories are not saved in a static state, then pulled up with perfect clarity. Instead, researchers have found that memories are transformed or changed every single time they are accessed.
I was 7 years old, so of course I started to cry. And when I left the dressing room, my aunt asked what was wrong. My mom hurried, shushed me, and said, "Oh, she's just upset that the dress didn't fit." But in reality, my mom had just slapped the shit out of me. I felt silenced, I felt judged, I felt shamed, and I was not looking forward to trying on more dresses that day, I can tell you that. I wasn't crying because the dress didn't fit. I was crying because my fat-phobic mom had just abused me in the dressing room.
But that fatphobic mom was the one who was enabling you to eat. Who fed you? Why were you poor yet fat? Probably because of bad choices.
But I was never able to tell anyone this until years later. That moment had a major impact on me and my body image for years to come. But now, I just look back and I realize how strong I am and how strong I was then, and I'm so happy that I have a better relationship with my body. Despite going through things like that, and much worse. So stitch this and tell me something you went through that had a negative impact on how you looked at your body. But only if you're comfortable. And please know that even if you don't love your body or accept your body as it is right now, you can get to that point no matter what. Let's come together, share our stories, and show people that no matter what you go through, you can always get to a better place and you can love your body at any size, any age, and anything in between.
But loving your body is not feeding it till it bursts.
And that impact didn't change your perspective?
Why you keep blaming people around you?
And the impact wasn't big enough to change your mindset?
Wanna be skinny but I wanna eat shit, and that's why my life is problematic.
You can do both?
Fat people don't deserve love. We keep seeing that one white girl who's going viral on that TikTok where she's saying fat people don't deserve love. If you
name one girl that looks good at 300 pounds.
I don't know what 300 pounds is.
See, you're 300 pounds, no one's gonna want to fuck you. Like, babes, you got a shit personality, no one's gonna want to date you even if you were the hottest woman in the world. Anyways, the point of this video is actually not to shit on crusty ass B words. I actually really want to talk about plus size dating and relationships. I've dated women, I've dated men, but I'm pretty much gonna be talking about my experience with dating men right now. By the way, so many of y'all have asked what blush I use. I'll do Euphoria on this side and Tower 20 on this side to compare. Like, I've dated skinny men, I've dated really fit men, I've dated pretty much men of all body sizes and types, and I've just realized that dating fat men is definitely the best for me. And obviously there's a range of fat. Like, for example, my partner right now is on the fitter end of like plus size, I guess. Like, he's a dad bod, basically. Tower 28 is more matte. Euphoria a little bit more natural and oily and dewy. Anyways, I've never had any problems dating because one, I'm pretty, and yes, I'm fat and pretty. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. And two, I always date men or go for men who I know are not going to make me feel bad about my body. And for me, those are just typically men who are on the bigger side of the spectrum in terms of sizes because, frankly put, they get it. They understand what it's like to have body issues. And not having to explain myself is literally the best thing ever. Like, it's just so comforting that on a personal level, they get it. And so that's why I'm just automatically attracted to men who are on that bigger end. Anyways, this is not me saying that there should not be inter-size relationships, because that is not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying from my own experience as a plus size woman, I've loved dating other plus size people. So if you're a plus size woman who's had negative experiences dating straight size individuals, maybe take a ride on the plus size terrain. And on that same note, if you're a plus size woman who wants to go for a straight size guy, but you're scared that he won't be able to pick you up or you won't fit into his hoodies, don't fucking worry about that. That is literally the most irrelevant aspect of a relationship. You are hot, and that's why he wants to date you. And obviously, you have an amazing personality, because all fat people are hilarious.
Don't let the beard fool you. He's a child.
It's funny because he's fat.
Now look, this...
And yes, that is a generalization. Do not second guess yourself or your worth. To sum this video up, don't wait until you lose the weight to start dating. Unlike what that white girl in the beginning of this video said about fat people, please always remember that at any size, you are deserving of love. So if you want to, go date a fat person, go date a skinny person, just go push yourself out there and don't let your weight hold you back from that. Self-love is definitely the best love, but getting laid is also fun too.
I know fat individuals who are not great individuals. Let's not put a body size on a pedestal.
I know, this fat acceptance stuff has gotten so out of hand. And this is coming from a fat person.
So if you think you're doing better, then what changes you made in your eating habit?
I eat a lot of vegetables and a lot of protein now.
A lot? Why you eat a lot?
Well, okay, I'm trying to open my horizons to vegetables because I'm a pretty picky eater sometimes. And I've been trying different like fish because I know that's healthy for you.
Okay. First of all, no matter how you want to say it, you're eating a lot. And you're not a picky eater if you're 600 pounds. You get that?
Yes.
I thought Diane's fatness in the later seasons of BoJack Horseman was good rep, but curious to hear your thoughts, if you've watched the show.
If I don't write my book of essays now, I never will.
I've only seen the first season of BoJack Horseman, so I can't speak about this specific instance of fat rep in animation. But in general, my feelings about fat rep in animation is a little split. Because on the one hand, it can give us some fantastic fat representation. I honestly think that Kung Fu Panda, at least in my opinion, is one of the best examples of positive fat representation in film. And part of that is due to the fact that the character Po is voiced by a fat actor, Jack Black. But a lot of it is just how the fat character is shown in the movie. On the other hand, we have a movie like Into the Spider-Verse, which is damn near a perfect film, but is marred by a couple of unnecessary and unfunny fat jokes.
You are so fat that when you cut yourself shaving, marshmallow fluff comes out. No? Okay, how about this one? You are so fat that your high school yearbook photo was taken from a helicopter. Ooh, tough room. Okay, how about you're so fat that when you get on a scale it says 1 at a time.
So, animation is just as susceptible to fat phobia as live action is. And then sometimes it just feels like they're using fat suits, which they kind of are in animation. It's Hollywood once again saying that we'll give you the occasional fat character just as long as we don't actually have to hire any fat people.
Diane's weight gain was due to her becoming happier and healthier, and was never even really acknowledged. I think it was great.
I like Diane's fatness because it's mostly her dealing with some internalized fat phobia while ultimately realizing this is her happier, healthier self.
Wanna be skinny but I wanna eat shit, and that's why my life is problematic.
Fat people need to be involved in the development of healthcare and medical devices. And many people have already said that, but masks. It is so hard to get a good fit with a fat face. Now, I don't think I have anything particularly unique about my face, besides that it's bigger than the standard, which leads to two things. One, increased gappage, movement, with the flaps not fitting right, not pulling down as far as they should.
How should society allow this? How come the government is not forcing plus-size masks production? What a discrimination.
Or two, It leads to increased harassment because to get one to fit, it has to be so tight and so, like, against your face with such a narrow build only for more thin faces that it just emphasizes how our faces are so big. The narrow build of most N95s just, they either don't fit entirely or they just balloon out cheeks and just make people stare at you. We need more fat people involved in the making of these things.
How can someone say this? How far can fat acceptance go?
Most stupid thing I have ever heard. Why should unhealthy people have a say on others' health?
The conclusion can be that medicine should accept and promote obesity.
As a plus-size travel blogger and someone advocating for change in the airline industry, I want to talk about this article that just came out in Business Insider. A South Korean airline plans to weigh passengers, putting them on scales before each flight to comply with local laws. Let's talk about it. Many times people comment on my videos that passengers should be weighed so that we can charge them per weight. And that right there is straight up discriminatory. But this seems a little bit different, and let me tell you why. They are saying this data is to comply with local laws and it will be collected anonymously to use for survey purposes when it comes to weight and balance. This is temporary and will not be a permanent thing as of right now. They will not be using this data to charge overweight passengers more for their plane tickets. I want to know what your thoughts are on this. Drop them down in the comments.
Yeah, but you affect the center of gravity on the plane.
The fact that you and starving children in Africa exist at the same time makes me want to cry.
I think you shouldn't fly for the safety of other passengers.
In honor of Labor Day and in partnership with Dove, I thought it would be appropriate to discuss the negative labor and economic impacts of weight discrimination. The Real Cost of Beauty Ideals report by Dove provides some useful highlights. First, employment. Weight discrimination results in lower employment rates and lower pay for fat people.
Obesity is a significant public health issue affecting approximately 42% of people in the United States. Employees with overweight or obesity are more likely to develop weight-related comorbidities such as type 2 diabetes, hypertension, sleep apnea, cardiovascular disease, and cancer, which all contribute to lower work productivity. Researchers evaluated many employees with and without obesity in the MarketScan databases. They determined the percentage of employees with work loss, the number of hours, days lost from work, and costs associated with productivity loss were higher among people with overweight or obesity. The loss of work productivity was greater with each higher body mass index, BMI, category.
The report cites a study which found that fat women are less likely to be employed than their thin counterparts, and when they are employed, they are paid less on average. The report also notes that fat employees may experience discrimination in the workplace, such as not being hired for jobs they're qualified for, being subjected to a hostile work environment, being denied promotions, or even being fired because of their weight. And to be clear, that should be enough for this issue to matter, but in case it's not, here's some more information. Weight discrimination is not just bad for the worker, it is also bad for business. The report suggests that businesses that engage in weight discrimination miss out on the talent and skills of fat employees, which can reduce their productivity and innovation.
All geniuses are fat. Not only is obesity bad for the company but also for the economy in general. Obesity has a major impact on national economies by reducing productivity and life expectancy and increasing disability and healthcare costs.
Finally, weight discrimination is not just bad for the worker or individual businesses. No. It's bad for the whole economy. It contributes to social inequality, which reduces economic mobility, which contributes to poverty, income inequality, and suppression of economic growth and stability. Individuals and organizations need to take a stand to end weight discrimination. You can do so by signing the petition at dove.com/sizefreedom and sharing your story using the hashtag #sizefreedom. We all deserve the right to thrive, so fight for it.
Missing seeing you on my FYP.
An incorrect feeling.
I sometimes have a feeling I can do crystal meth, but then I think, better not.
Yeah.
Diet and meth are the same? Better not.
Let's be clear that luggage is an inanimate object, and people are sentient individuals.
If you grew up fat, what was the moment you realized your body was bad? I'll go first. So I was a chubby third grader, and, you know, kids come in various sizes, and I was never aware of my body in a negative way. I never sucked in my stomach, I never thought about my body, I just went around and played with my friends and my best friend, and just kind of lived my life.
And then, as grown-ups, it's time to take responsibility.
When I was shopping in the junior section at like 10.
Then one day we had an assembly, and I was walking with my dad down the like breezeway to the auditorium area, and he pulls me aside, and he starts berating me and telling me, little like 8-9-year-old me, how embarrassing it is to walk around with someone as fat as me. How humiliating it was to walk around with someone whose stomach was out so much.
Okay, but what did this event change? You were already fat and you grew up same way. Even if no one pointed out your weight, you would still be on the same track. The outcome is obviously the same. Don't blame others, take responsibility.
And then he taught me how to suck in my stomach. Do the whole thing, and made me do it, and said I had to do that from now on. And from that day forward, I became hyper aware of my body. I became aware of how it didn't look like everyone else's. I became aware of how it bounced, how it jiggled, how it stuck out in different ways. And from then until high school, really, I sucked in my stomach every single day.
But why suck it and not lose weight? Because it's easier?
The school nurse pulled me out of class to tell me that my body needed extra homework.
For the millionth fucking time, existing as a fat person is not promoting obesity. Loving your body and being confident about your body is also not promoting obesity. So fuck off, bitch.
Why such need to convince people that you love your body?
No, why did you spawn on my FY page WTF?
Promoting it would be if you made a video on ways to gain weight or something like that.
When it comes to my plus-size travel petition, people like to compare a person needing to buy additional plane seats to the concept of paying for overweight or additional luggage. But you need to understand something. Once you check your luggage, there is a human that has to handle that luggage and get it onto the plane. And did you also know that back injuries are very common for ramp agents at the airport? To lower that risk of back injury, strict standards have been set on how much that baggage can weigh. Also, let's be clear that luggage is an inanimate object, and people are sentient individuals with a right to a certain level of decency, respect, and safety.
Respect? How does the quote go? Respect yourself and others will respect you. Eating yourself to death is not respectful to your body.
Comments did not disappoint.
So stop comparing people to luggage. A plus-size individual or tall individual or someone needing more space on a plane is not the same as someone wanting to bring an extra Gucci suitcase.
But they also have bigger clothes, so heavier suitcase should be allowed?
Humans are not being carried by ramp agents who could potentially hurt their back. And we deserve space on a plane to be comfortable and safe. So stop saying that if someone is taller or they weigh more, that they deserve to pay more for the same experience getting from point A to point B.
First it was obese and disabled. Now it is tall and obese. And how would a tall person benefit with extra seat? Will they lie down?
Because that's just not fair and it's not human decency.
If you fill 2 seats, pay for 2.
Simple math.
Human decency, you took my seat.
If you can eat for 2, you can pay for 2.
Girls same. I deserve the same experience as first class. Just cause I don't have the money for it doesn't mean I deserve less.
I'm on a mission to revolutionize the travel industry and make it a more accessible, accepting, accommodating place for all. The needs of plus-size travelers matter just as much as anybody else, and today I'm going to cover what we are looking for in accessible, size-inclusive hotel amenities.
How can you force hotels to do something? The entitlement.
Today I'm going to cover what we are looking for in accessible, size-inclusive hotel amenities. Size-inclusive hotel amenities are crucial for ensuring that plus-size travelers feel welcomed, accommodated, and comfortable during their stay. We deserve an environment that respects our needs and body diversity. These are the exact steps that hotels can take to be more size-inclusive and accessible for travelers of all sizes. Number 1 on the list, provide sturdy, wider chairs without armrests in guest rooms, lobbies, and common areas to accommodate different body sizes and types. Number 2 on the list, ensure beds with strong support and a higher weight capacity, along with providing reinforced chairs and wider bathroom facilities. Number 3, make elevators and hallways spacious to allow for easy movement of larger individuals and those utilizing mobility devices.
So build a new hotel essentially, right?
Number 4, install grab bars in showers and near toilets. Offer adjustable handheld shower heads and raised toilet seats for added accessibility. Number 5, train staff to be respectful, understanding, and accommodating to travelers of all sizes. Number 6, provide pool lifts and handrails at the entry of the pool. This will allow for plus-size guests and guests with different abilities to enjoy all amenities. Number 7, hotel restaurants should have roomy seating options and sturdy chairs, ensuring that everybody can dine comfortably. Number 8, offer larger beach and pool seating. Provide oversized loungers and seating at the beach and pool areas, allowing travelers of all sizes and abilities to be comfortable. Number 9, hotels should provide size-inclusive bathrobes. These should go up to a size 6X and beyond.
6X and beyond?
And last but not least, this is an important one. Display clear and accurate information on these amenities on hotel websites. Include weight limits, seat dimensions, and things like that. And include information on the size-inclusive amenities available. This will help plus-size travelers make informed decisions. By implementing these size-inclusive hotel amenities, hotels can become more inclusive and accommodating. Be sure to hit that follow button for more plus-size travel tips and share this with someone who you think would help.
Why not make a petition?
I agree with some, but others are just not possible. The amount of money it will take to make all of these changes is unreal. And if they change things, living at a hotel will be more expensive, and then you will complain about that.
Humans are not meant to be this large.
The amount of ego is sad.
So little to ask for.
Reinforced beds, all-you-can-eat buffet, and a standby heart surgeon for heart attacks.
Okay, but elderly people tend to need arm rests to help get in and out of seats. But sacrifice their safety for your comfort, right?
Don't expect other people to take care of you when you can't take care of yourself. Stop complaining about things and actually do something to improve.
I wonder, would you hate your body if the world didn't? If you could go somewhere without society saying no in the form of chairs that are too small and clothes that don't fit. If you could eat without people jumping down your throat to assign moral value to food. If you could move without the weight of the world adding to the weight of your body, assuming they know the fate of your body. Would you hate your body if you didn't constantly hear death's chorus with every swish of your hips? I'd rather die than look like you.
Of course I will hate my body. It will be difficult for me to move around. Taking steps would feel like climbing a mountain. I would lose my breath and have health issues. It's not all about aesthetics.
You're gonna die soon. They chant and they dig a person-sized hole based on what they think your heart looks like. Your heart looks like the heart of a person who deserves to feel at home, not at war, simply because they are a person at home and not at war. Would you hate your body if the world didn't?
Yes, as it will hold me down.
Road trip. Where is this place? Free of the judgment and small chairs. Lol.
It's so obvious that you're not really happy in this body. Only you have the power to change your body and lifestyle.
You're right. I am not happy. I am absolutely fucking thrilled. Eat it up, bitch. I look great.
Why such need to prove your happiness? This can't be right. So you can be unhealthy, mentally and physically, and happy at the same time? It has been found that BMI is related to decreased happiness only among individuals with obesity, not among individuals with overweight and normal weight.
Welcome back to What I Eat in a Day as a Fat Woman Who's Not Interested in Diet Culture or Losing Weight. Starting my morning off with some good hydration with some water. Then I toasted some chocolate chip Eggos and I put butter and Nutella on them and I made these like little sandwiches. Here's me trying it. I'm deciding if I like it. Oh, I went back in for more. So yes, I feel good. Then for lunch I had some leftover fried rice that I made the other night and I ate it while I was in class. Here's me blowing it off because it was really hot. But like this is like a super happy dance. My belly approved. Before I went to work, I had a gift card, so I went and stopped at Cha Time. Here's my opinion on this. So, this is my first time at Cha Time. I'm giving this taro smoothie, which is what I usually always get, a 4 out of 10. Now for dinner. Oh, I made garlic bread and baked potato soup. Look how freaking good this looks. Oh my gosh. Here's the garlic bread and me dipping it in the soup. Let me know if you want the recipe for this because it is immaculate. And that was my day. Please remember that you are worthy to eat every single day.
Worthy to eat? But why? Daily total of around 2,400, maybe slightly more.
Butter and Nutella.
No one is fat, everyone is beautiful.
Fat is beautiful.
Hi friends and haters, this is what I eat in a day as a fat person, eating whatever I want because I can. I started my morning with a bagel and cream cheese, and then I went out to lunch and had some wings and curly fries and cheese, which is so good. For dinner, I made a smoothie bowl, which I always make with some berries and yogurt, and I always top it off with some granola and honey, which is just like so refreshing, so good. We love it. And then to end my night, I had a piece of chocolate cake because I can.
Daily total of around 2,300 calories.
Y'all, before you comment about how I need to exercise, work out, maybe scroll on my page to see that I hike multiple times a week. Ah, cute, another user 8,283,848 telling me I'm going to die. I'm so hurt. The whole point of this video is that I don't want to lose weight. I'm happy with my body as it is. With the daily exercise I do, I'll maintain my weight.
Walking up and down the stairs of your home isn't hiking, lol.
Ha ha ha, scroll on my account for 1 second and you'll see my entire page is based on hiking, but keep telling me how I don't hike. You're a fool.
Tiny minute videos isn't proof that you hike, lol.
You want more proof? Go to my Instagram and see all the hikes I've hiked. LMAO, imagine being so pressed about a stranger on the internet being happy.
But you are the one trying to convince everyone that you are healthy and happy with your weight. Why go all this way?
I'm fat AF, and this is what I eat in a day. Measured me out some syrup for my 3 mini pancakes, had some milk and 4 sausage links. I gave a small piece to my cat because she asked so politely. I walked until it physically hurt, and then I rewarded myself with a healthy treat. I had 6 mozzarella sticks. I ordered a supersonic double cheeseburger, but they gave me a single. Did not complain because, let's be for real, they did me a favor. Some cheese fries and a large Coke, and that's all I ate for the entire day. Oh, I split some chicken poppers with my boyfriend, and that's all I ate. Thanks, bye.
Unhealthy eating is nothing to joke about.
Nicole Avocado's sister?
Less fast food, more healthy food. Caloric deficit isn't all there is to it.
6 mozzarella sticks for 6 steps. Wahoo.
You shouldn't be proud of being unhealthy.
You shouldn't be proud of telling people to kill themselves. What the fuck? Can I smell it?
I can't eat it, but how
good it is
does it feel
to smell it?
Don't get it.
Bro, the car looks even sideways because you are so heavy.
Fat shaming is always okay, it's just gonna help you stay alive for 15 more years.
May I have cookie?
No, Diabito. Roll back to kitchen.
Oh.
I think the guy had a crush on me at Burger King because he gave me 3 sauces, and usually they forget my sauce. I think that's like a little way of him saying, yeah, you're cute.
Maybe if you order 3 portions you get 3 sauces?
Throughout this video we'll dive into a topic that affects many of us, fast food addiction. We're here to explore the science behind why fast food can become addictive.
Hi everyone, just a reminder that just because I'm fat and I exist on the internet doesn't mean that you can give me unwanted health advice that I have for the last 4 years have said no to. Okay? Fat people's existence is not consent for unwanted health advice.
But why? You obviously need it. Why the anger?
Comment not available, of course.
Comment not available of I blocked them. When I do that I think their comments go away anymore, but not sure since I haven't sued TikTok in a while.
Was doing donuts in the back of the parking lot in that wheelchair.
That wheelchair gave her so much freedom that she was not used to.
I figured it out. It's like riding a bull, you gotta lean with it.
Had to deliver a pizza to someone like that and I couldn't help but feel like I assisted in a suicide.
Yep, prep yourself, get up.
Hold on. Fuck. It's this shoe.
I mean, a proper shoe would make a difference.
Have you ever wondered why it's so challenging to resist the temptation of fast food? Well, it turns out there's science behind it. Fast food is carefully engineered to be not only delicious but also addictive. High levels of salt, sugar, and unhealthy fats can trigger pleasure centers in our brains, releasing neurotransmitters like dopamine, making us crave more.
As you might assume, I get a lot of comments like this, and honestly, like, they make me really sad because as a fat person, like, existing in the world, there's literally nothing I can do about this, because this is about you and, like, your illness. And I don't know, the fact that, like, my body, existing in my body freely, loving my body, could trigger someone to harm themselves.
How is not eating dinner harming yourself?
Is difficult to navigate, and all I can say is that, like, I hope that you have the help that you deserve. I hope that you have people in your life who are looking out for you. And I hope that you know deep down inside, even if you don't, whatever, like, maybe this comment was just to be mean and that's okay, but I mean, it's not okay, but, like, it is what it is, you know? People are going to be mean online, but I hope that you know that you deserve to be fed, you deserve to be nourished, and it doesn't matter what you look like, you still deserve to eat. Even if you were 600 pounds, right? 800 pounds, you still deserve to eat. You deserve to be nourished. You deserve to have your needs met. Yeah.
But that is not nourishment.
It's the opposite for me. I see your videos and feel so comfortable eating whatever my body wants to nourish it and my soul.
It's good that these comments make you sad. Take it as motivation.
Every day I look at Tammy and I'm like, if I don't change now, I could possibly be her size.
She didn't eat anything. That was me.
Why the shit hasn't shown anything, okay?
She builds fluid up. She can't help it. That's the one thing she's been stressing about is the fluid.
None of your tests show that you're retaining water, okay? You're not 700 pounds of water.
Ever since I had surgery on my leg, you can't tell me that I haven't, because I have. I've been through this since I was 15 years.
Protect her man at all cost. He a real one.
Real one to collect the life insurance policy on her.
When we eat fast food, our brain's reward pathways light up, creating a pleasurable sensation. Dopamine, often called the feel-good neurotransmitter, plays a significant role here. Over time, our brains can become desensitized to dopamine, leading us to seek more fast food to experience the same pleasure, just like how addiction works.
I'm losing nothing. Don't add up. You don't think your weight has to do anything with your eating habit? No, I don't.
You don't need to respond so aggressively against them or any comment that goes against your views. Please be mature about how you respond.
Very interesting comment. One, clearly you've never seen any of my other content. My response in that video is me not being, like, outwardly angry. It's frustration for sure. That's not me being angry at all. And also, tone policing. We're not doing that here. If I want to get angry, I'm allowed to get angry at someone who's harassing me and discriminating against me because of my size. You're not allowed to tell me I'm not allowed to get angry about that, and you're not allowed to police how I respond to that. So yeah, if you think me standing up for myself and educating other people and speaking my own voice is immature, then so be it. I'm immature to you. Great. Have a wonderful day and don't comment again.
Don't post again.
Tone policing?
Many fast foods are loaded with highly processed ingredients, preservatives, and artificial additives. These not only lack essential nutrients but can also disrupt our body's natural hunger and fullness cues. As a result, we may find ourselves constantly craving more, leading to overeating and, eventually, addiction-like behavior.
I forgot, it comes with like a huge salad. Wow, I didn't realize the salad was gonna be that big. And then it all comes with some breadsticks. So I was supposed to get garlic bread. It came with like a bunch of these. I was gonna eat this regardless. So I was just like, you know what? Let's do a taste test. It's like a vodka sauce with fettuccine. I don't know. I know it's hard to believe, but I've been eating a lot of salad lately. Yum. I'm probably only gonna have like 1 or 2 of these. So I give this like 3.5. I hate wasting food, but I'm wasting this. You know what? Sauce is really good. Mental health is important.
I'm only going to have 2 of these. Yeah, okay.
She has gained a lot of weight. She always pretends the order is wrong or she didn't know it came with this or that. I don't understand why she does this continuously.
Diet Coke will cancel out all the non-diet stuff.
Do you want to help protect plus-size creators on TikTok? If you do, please watch the rest of this. I've had a lot of discussion on my page recently about how the comments have really gotten out of control lately on TikTok. And the community guidelines and moderators on TikTok are doing absolutely nothing about it. If anything, plus-size creators are getting penalized because their videos responding to comments will get taken down. However, the bullies are protected. So I decided to start a petition. Again. Here's the petition.
So I decided to start a petition, again. Kinda depressing, but not giving up.
But then the moderators should also ban spreading misinformation like being fat is healthy.
Exactly though. Just because I am booked to model does not mean that anyone is promoting the size that my body is. Thank you for running into the point.
But she says support, not promote. She wants to say approve, I suppose.
You're literally just existing and serving looks. Fat phobia is such brain rot.
Fat acceptance is brain rot.
Jordan, do you think you benefit from pretty privilege? I mean, would you model if you weren't simply pretty? I don't know why, but I'm curious what you think.
What do you order at Burger King?
Probably the Whopper.
1 Whopper?
Yeah.
That's it? No fries, no drink?
Mm-mm. It usually takes me like 2 days to eat that thing, so.
A Whopper?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I can't eat a Whopper in 1 meal. That's way too much food.
I'm lucky if I eat a quarter of it, then I put the rest in the fridge and save for the next day or whatever, so.
He just had surgery. You can easily tell.
Throughout this video, let's explore how fast food can wreak havoc on your gut microbiome and lead to a range of complications. To understand the connection between fast food and your gut health, we first need to grasp the concept of the gut microbiome. Your gut is home to trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, viruses, fungi, collectively known as the gut microbiome. These microorganisms play a crucial role in digesting food, absorbing nutrients, and regulating your immune system. But here's the kicker. They also have a profound impact on your mental health.
Let me tell you a story. When I was 13 years old, I had a cough all summer. So I went to the doctor's office. The doctor took one look at me and said, you know what? Maybe you should lose weight. Turns out I had walking pneumonia. I had fluid on my lungs. And if I had not advocated for myself in that moment, I don't know what would have happened. Size discrimination impacts 34 million people in the United States. 84% of adults in the US live in larger bodies. As a disability advocate, I cannot ignore how often fat discrimination leads to further disablement.
Lose some weight is generally good advice. While the personal story shared in the video is undoubtedly impactful, it's crucial to recognize that individual experiences can't represent the entirety of a complex issue. She seems to imply a direct causation between size discrimination and further disablement. It's important to avoid oversimplifying the link between these issues and to consider other contributing factors.
Had a doctor once tell me if I was thinner I wouldn't have caught the flu, was over 250 at the time. Just one instance of 100s experienced.
Wanna be skinny but I wanna eat shit, and that's why my life is problematic.
Do you think if I overeat myself to near death I can be called a beautiful model too?
I don't know for sure, but I definitely think you should try.
The question might be on point but not the answer.
I get this as a joke to a backhanded comment, but there are kids that may think this true. Everybody is beautiful no matter shape, size, or skin.
Our mom told us when we were younger, if we ate a sugar, you drink a Diet Coke afterwards and it'll cancel out the sugar.
Okay. Enter the gut-brain axis, the intricate communication network between your gut and brain. It's like a two-way street where signals travel back and forth, influencing everything from mood and stress to cognitive function. A balanced gut microbiome is essential for maintaining a healthy gut-brain axis. But what happens when you indulge in that fast food craving? Fast food is often loaded with saturated fats, sugar, and highly processed ingredients. When you consume it regularly, it disrupts the delicate balance of your gut microbiome.
Let's talk about all the weird things that happen when you're a bigger girl. When you meet a new group of guys for the first time and they introduce themselves to every other girl in the group and skip over you, or if they do acknowledge you, they'll give you that shitty limp handshake while looking in the other direction. Don't want to make eye contact with the fatty. When store employees ask every other person in there if they need help finding something, but not you. When you're out with a bunch of people and you're hungry but no one else is hungry, so then you don't want to eat because then of course the fat girl is eating. Having irrational fears about showing up to parties for the first time. Are they going to let me in or am I too big? When someone asks to borrow some clothes and then they're just so ridiculously shocked about how massive it is on them. Last but not least, and my personal favorite, when a guy tries to keep his relationship and his attraction to you a secret.
People actually do that? Wow.
When you exercise, people congrats you.
Fast food promotes the growth of harmful bacteria while reducing the beneficial ones. This imbalance can lead to inflammation and a compromised gut lining, often referred to as leaky gut syndrome. Now, let's connect the dots. A compromised gut microbiome doesn't just affect your digestive system, it can have a cascading effect on your mental health. Research suggests that an unhealthy gut may contribute to mood disorders like depression and anxiety. It can also impair cognitive function and increase the risk of neurodegenerative diseases. But that's not all. The consequences of fast food on your gut health extend beyond mental well-being. It can also lead to a host of other complications, including obesity, heart disease, and diabetes.
What do you mean you don't know? And you think that you're not eating and you're getting
I don't want to get malnourished either.
Do you look like you're malnourished?
It is thin privilege, and even if she does binge and purge, she still has thin privilege regardless of her eating disorder. Especially when people who have eating disorders, who are thin, are treated 10 years faster than fat people. When fat people have eating disorders, we are not believed. It can take as long as 13 years to get diagnosed because of fat phobia. Whereas when a thin person has an eating disorder of some kind, it can take them under 3 years to get diagnosed, which is faster because of thin privilege. Thin people get diagnosed more. But regardless of her having an eating disorder or not, she still has thin privilege. Mind you, I don't care if she has an eating disorder. That's not my business because her body is not my business. That's why I never commented on her body in the video. I talked about myself and just duetted her for a physical example of the comment section.
But can't you say someone has ED just by their looks? Overeating is not an ED.
Two things can be true at the same time.
The impact on your gut microbiome can even affect your immune system, making you more susceptible to infections. Now, let's talk about obesity. Obesity rates have been steadily rising, and the consequences are far-reaching. Obesity increases the risk of chronic diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and hypertension. It can strain your joints, lead to sleep apnea, and even contribute to certain types of cancer. Obesity can take a toll on a person's mental and emotional well-being.
Fat! You know, I used to spend my whole life running from this word because every day I was made to feel as though it was something worth running from. And to this day, there are still people that would like for me to continue this misguided marathon while they shout fat, as if it's the worst thing I could ever be. Now, you would think that because body size discrimination harms more than 2/3 of the US population every day, there would be legislative protection against it.
Marathon? Running?
The outfit is so slay.
You have more important things to worry about. Obesity also brings practical challenges in daily life. Simple activities like climbing stairs or fitting into standard-sized seats can become major hurdles. This can limit mobility and independence. Weight management often requires a multifaceted approach, including balanced nutrition and regular exercise. Although she is a joke, let's try a critical view.
Doctors should never be prescribing weight loss to anyone, ever, at any point in time. And here's why. When we recommend any procedure, treatment, medication, or whatever, we need to be thinking about the pros and the cons, the benefits and the risks. So what are the benefits of intentional weight loss? Well, the main one is you become thinner. Temporarily, mind you, because up to 98% of people will regain all of the weight that they lost within 5 years. Up to 2/3 of them actually will gain back more than they lost in the first place. There are some possible temporary health benefits, but none of them are long lasting. For example, you may be able to get your diabetes into remission for 12 months, 18 months, but no longer than that for the vast majority of people.
But there are instances where it might be medically necessary, such as in the case of severe obesity impacting an individual's overall health. She generalizes that 98% of people will regain all the weight, ignoring individual cases where sustainable weight loss has been achieved and maintained. Also, temporary improvements, such as diabetes remission, can be crucial for an individual's immediate health and might provide a window for implementing further lifestyle changes. This does not touch upon the psychological aspects of weight loss, such as improved self-esteem, mental well-being, and reduced risk of depression, which can be important for overall health and quality of life. She seems to undermine the autonomy of individuals to make decisions about their own health with their healthcare providers. While not directly mentioned in the segment, health-related quality of life improvements, such as reduced joint pain, better sleep, and increased mobility, are often associated with weight loss. These improvements can significantly enhance one's overall well-being. She doesn't consider the risks associated with obesity, such as increased likelihood of heart disease, stroke, and certain types of cancer.
In fact, most of the data out there focuses A, on the short-term benefits, and B, more on health risks rather than health outcomes. And by that I mean they'll focus on your blood pressure or your A1C or your cholesterol rather than focusing on, say, heart attacks or strokes or cancer. But what about the risks? Well, there are lots of them. First of all, there are the physical risks. People who diet suffer from malabsorption, poor energy levels, and when taken to extreme levels, they can become dehydrated. They can even cause damage to their heart, their kidneys, and various other internal organs. Then there's the psychological damage, the low mood, low self-worth, increased rates of anxiety, depression, and even suicidality. Poor cognition, inability to concentrate.
She doesn't acknowledge the extensive research linking obesity to long-term health outcomes like heart attacks, strokes, and certain cancers. While extreme dieting can indeed have physical consequences, she simplifies the risks. The risks mentioned, such as malabsorption and damage to internal organs, often occur in extreme cases and are not representative of moderate, supervised weight loss efforts. While psychological effects like low mood and increased anxiety are mentioned, she doesn't provide context. These issues can arise due to various factors, not just weight loss attempts. Mental health is multifaceted and cannot be solely attributed to weight loss efforts. She generalizes the psychological effects of dieting without considering individual differences. Some individuals may experience improved mental health and well-being after weight loss, especially if it aligns with their personal goals and leads to a healthier lifestyle. She oversimplifies the risks associated with weight loss efforts and neglects the potential long-term health benefits.
Poorer memory, inability to do basic, simple tasks that were once quite easy for you. And that's just in the short term. What about the risk of eating disorders? The more you diet and the more extreme your dieting techniques, the higher the risk of you developing an eating disorder, which is particularly bad if you're a person with a bigger body, because that's also far less likely to get diagnosed and far less likely to get treated properly. Then there's weight cycling or weight fluctuations, which have been shown over and over again to be detrimental to people in the long term. Then there's weight stigma, which has been shown to be particularly detrimental to our health. So to sum up, very few benefits, most of them temporary, and multiple risks, most of them long-term. You don't need to be a genius to figure out why I am strongly against doctors recommending weight loss.
While it's true that extreme dieting can be a risk factor for eating disorders, it's essential to highlight that not everyone who diets develops an eating disorder. Generalizing this risk might create unnecessary fear around weight loss efforts. She overlooks the benefits of adopting a healthier lifestyle, which can include improved energy levels, better sleep, enhanced mood, and reduced risk of chronic diseases. Weight loss, when achieved through balanced nutrition and exercise, can positively impact overall health. While she mentions the challenges faced by people with eating disorders, there are treatment options available. It's important to advocate for proper diagnosis, awareness, and improved mental health support rather than discouraging individuals from pursuing health goals.
Introducing Project Primrose, a digital dress that brings fabric to life.
We will literally do anything that actually prioritize plus size fashion, diverse fashion. Instead of fixing the problems we already have, someone said, let's make a digital dress, an ugly digital dress, and call it revolutionary. Okay, cool. I'm glad that you can put a Jumbotron on the front of you and push a button and it changes from an ugly dress to an even uglier dress. And I'm not trying to be unkind. Like, congrats to everybody that worked so hard. Yay. But like, we have bigger issues, no pun intended. Like, stop with the performative BS already. This is why it's so important to have actual diversity in fashion. Everyone just thinks it's so, big bitches like me can have clothes. Okay, like, that's part of the reason. But like, shit like this is not the answer. I'm sorry.
Don't want to sound mean, but I think that obese people have other things to worry about instead of fashion. Set priorities. Health, then beauty. Just don't think that fashion should be on obese people's minds.
I don't understand shitting on someone's creativity. Just because it's not for you, doesn't make it bad, and yes, I am plus-sized.
Creating extreme plus-size clothing involves intricate designs and different production processes.
No, on your butt.
She flew out the scene.
I think as a society we have progressed beyond the need to use fat as an insult. It's a fucking adjective. I don't know what people expect the reaction to be when you call someone fat. Like, they say it like they're driving a spear through your fucking heart. You're fat. Yes? Congratulations on having eyeballs, bitch. I was in this body before you saw it. What do you think I'm looking at, idiot? No other adjective is treated that way. If I came up to you and said, you're tall, you wouldn't want to sock me in the face.
Incorrect. If you went up to a short person and say, you're short, you're gonna have to defend yourself.
It is somehow true that you can associate being fat with laziness, lack of self-discipline, or poor health.
I left Target a little while ago. I had to pull over because I'm a little upset. So, this little girl pointed out my dress to her mother and said that she loved it because it was up-themed. And her mother said, it's cute for a little girl, but it's childish for a grown woman. Okay, fine. I just get my shoes and I head to the front because I just want to get out of there right, because I can't go in anywhere without people being terrible. So as I'm leaving the store, this chick is walking by me and she's like, "Oh, the fatties are out today. You know, you can tell it's Easter because they're snagging up all the candy." I got shoes. I didn't even get candy. I didn't even go in there for Easter candy. Like, what is wrong with people? What do I don't leave my house? People suck.
Why do you want to be a victim? Do you look for excuses for your lifestyle?
No matter what you do, you will never be able to please everyone. Be you, be free. Ignore dumb people. Hugs and love, and you're beautiful.
While empathy and understanding are crucial, it's equally important not to lose sight of personal resilience and self-responsibility. There's a concerning trend of neglecting self-care. Mental and physical health should be our utmost priority. Neglecting our well-being, both mentally and physically, while getting easily offended, is a paradox that needs addressing. We must empower ourselves to handle life's challenges robustly.
First thing people notice about you.
Watch, it's gonna be my eyes. I get that a lot. That's fatphobic.
This filter is sick. How dare it? Foopan's a smash.
TikTok really said, "Let me humble you."
Throughout this video, we're delving into a topic that might surprise you: the potential drawbacks of frequent eating. Now, before we begin, it's essential to understand that every individual's body is different, and what works for one person might not work for another. Let's explore the health facts you need to know about frequent eating.
Am I depressed? Could a depressed person stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning making a ton of onigiri? I didn't think so. What? What does manic mean?
While this is a joke, depression can lead to emotional eating, where individuals use food as a way to cope with negative emotions.
Plot twist.
Many of us have been conditioned to believe that frequent eating, often in the form of snacking, is healthy. However, our digestive system needs time to process the food we eat fully. Constantly supplying it with more food can overwhelm the system, leading to issues like indigestion, bloating, and discomfort.
We all know that it's totally fine to make fun of fat people because being obese is a choice. We all just wake up one day and decide, you know what, I hate myself, I don't want to live anymore. Let's speed up the death process. You know, that's a choice, right? Fat people are held to really high standards. Once they start losing weight, they tend to become assholes who hold everyone else to those same high standards. Fat people will be like, I hate myself, but I made a choice and did all the hard work because instead of, going to rehab or getting treatment, I decided to cut out half of my stomach. And then they'll be like, you have a small pee-pee? That's a choice. Every time I visit the hub, I see dozens of advertisements for different products to take your small pee-pee into a big pee-pee. And if you haven't tried each one of those methods at least once, then you're not trying hard enough to have a big pee-pee.
What is this analogy? When we eat frequently, especially foods high in sugars and carbohydrates, our blood sugar levels can spike. While this might give us a temporary burst of energy, it's often followed by a crash. These fluctuations can leave us feeling tired, irritable, and can even contribute to cravings for more sugary snacks.
If you're a short king and you spend more time complaining about being a short king instead of researching methods like surgeries and supplements into growing, then you're choosing to be a short king and you deserve to stay a short king. Skinny people. All you skinny people choose to be skinny too, because if you didn't want to be skinny, you would make a choice, find your TDE, and force yourself to eat 500 calories above your TDE every day so you can gain a pound a week. The choice. I don't care if you're poor. Have you chose to get a job? Jesus.
But how is it not a choice to put food in your mouth or not? Who is feeding you? Who chooses what you eat?
Contrary to popular belief, eating small meals throughout the day doesn't necessarily boost your metabolism. In fact, constant eating might lead to overeating, as we tend to underestimate the total calories we consume. This can contribute to weight gain over time, especially if the foods are high in calories and low in nutrients.
No, I will not be taking the latest weight loss fad, diet, or pill, but thanks for asking.
Nor should you, beside the fact that you can benefit, but you can be more mindful of what you eat.
It's all about mindful eating and balanced nutrition. Opt for nutrient-dense meals that keep you satisfied for longer periods. Regular meal times allow your body to digest properly and help maintain stable blood sugar levels.
You just don't seem happy at all being at that weight. Like 98% of your page is you complaining and being miserable.
Well, I'm genuinely curious, apart from the fact that I disagree with you, I'm genuinely curious, where have I complained about being fat on my page? Or in my entire life? Where have I complained about hating my body? Where have I complained about not liking myself because I'm fat and whatnot? Where have I complained about my body or being fat? Or maybe even like personal issues related. But where have I complained about those? Because I don't think I have. You can try and quote me saying I hate my body, I hate myself, I hate being fat. Like, you can try and find those, but I don't think I've ever said anything like that. What I have complained about is the way people treat me because of my body, but that's not me complaining about being fat. That's not me saying I'm miserable because I'm fat. Actually, I've never stated or quoted that I've ever been miserable because I'm fat. So I'm genuinely curious why you think that, or if it's just fat phobia and you're just blinded by that.
But studies suggest there might be a correlation between body weight and mental health. Obesity is associated with a higher risk of having certain mental health disorders, including anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder.
People are very cruel to you for being who you are, and yet you seem unhappy.
You did? Oh wow, yay! Oh my gosh, yay!
Don't be jealous, please.
Understanding the impact of frequent eating on our health is the first step towards making positive changes. Let's focus on nourishing our bodies with whole, balanced meals and allowing our digestive systems the time they need to function optimally.
For the millionth fucking time, existing as a fat person is not promoting obesity. Loving your body and being confident about your body is also not promoting obesity. So fuck off, bitch.
No one is suggesting that merely existing as a person with a certain body type promotes anything. It's essential to distinguish between promoting an unhealthy lifestyle and promoting self-acceptance, which brings us to the next point. The assertion here is that self-love and body confidence have no relation to promoting unhealthy behaviors. But is it really that simple? The problem lies in the oversimplification of a complex issue. It's crucial to recognize that discussions around body positivity and acceptance are often more nuanced than a simple love your body slogan.
I'm just sitting here waiting for my appointment with my dietitian, which starts in like 3 minutes, and Jess goes, "Wait, don't you have your fat thing?" My fat thing? What is my fat thing? What is that?
Your dietitian?
Honestly, like, okay.
You have a dietitian? Find a new one.
All my things are fat things.
Body shaming has never left this app, but I have noticed a uptick recently in more like high-profile instances of it. And there are like two types of people who make pathetic, unwarranted comments about fat people simply existing. It's either completely anonymous, or their entire personality and feed is gym stuff. And I stumbled across a user who's the perfect example of this.
You can't really make a gym rat feel bad about themselves. What are you gonna tell them? That their body sucks and they look awful? They'll probably agree and hit another set.
Now, don't get too excited because they have not become self-aware.
You can't get in our heads. We're already in them and choosing self-improvement, while you dive into a pool of Cheeto.
Toxic fitness culture, wrapped up in a pretty little bow, just for you and me. It is this unearned sense of social entitlement because despite constantly working on themselves, they are so full of self-hatred and self-loathing that when they witness someone who has a body type that is their worst fear loving themselves, they have literal tantrums. Losers!
Blanket statements like these can oversimplify the complex issue of body image and perpetuate stereotypes about those who are passionate about fitness. Using derogatory terms like loser is counterproductive and perpetuates the same negativity.
Do they think that unhealthy relationships with the gym are somehow better than unhealthy relationships with food?
How the hell can you have a bad relationship with taking care of yourself?
Please don't assume a fat person has an unhealthy relationship with food.
I don't even like Cheetos, but I'm about to grab a whole ass bag and eat it just for that creator.
Complaining about having to buy 2 plane tickets is totally your own fault. What have the airline CEOs got on you? Is my question. What have they done that have you so enthralled that you view their systematically shrinking of airline seats so that they can make more and more and more profits is the fault of fat people? How do we get there?
The fact may be that seats are much smaller today than in previous decades, but we are talking about decades. And if you force people to choose side, of course we will pick the more sane one.
It's always the former fats who are the most fat-phobic. You're not superior because you became smaller.
If the airlines can't make seats big enough for all their flyers, they should be put out of business.
This is my announcement that I'm fat and I'm perfectly okay with that. And if you're not, find a new fucking hobby.
Why the need to announce?
People who are insecure about themselves get so pressed when fat girls love their own beautiful bodies. It must be tiring to be so hateful, to be honest.
You're not fat. You have fat. You also have fingernails, but you're not fingernails.
Let's talk about how to stay so fresh and so clean as a plus-size babe. Yup, that's right. I'm talking about plus-size hygiene. When it comes to being a plus-size babe, I have a dream team of personal care items, and I'm going to share them with you today. The number 1 item on my list is tea tree soap, the remedy for skin irritation for plus-size babes, whether it comes to preventing or healing irritation. But wait, there's more. The next hygiene item I swear by as a plus-size babe is body wipes. Your little pocket-sized refreshers, ensuring you stay fresh and clean on the go. Your battle against chafing, consider it conquered. With Mega Babe chafing products. They're linked up on my profile. Keep discomfort at bay and your confidence soaring. And now, a standing ovation for the Lumi all-body deodorant. Your backstage pass to an odor-free extravaganza. But let's not forget the unsung hero, the back scrubber. Stepping in to get into them nooks and crannies. With this powerhouse lineup, you've got plus-size hygiene tackled. Celebrate your uniqueness and let your confidence shine. Because you're worth every ounce of self-care luxury.
I've never heard of body wipes. Hygiene maintenance wouldn't be an issue if something was done about the main problem.
Why is it so hard to believe that fat people go to the gym and work out? Like, I'm very healthy, very athletic. I work out almost every day. I am dunking on you bros and shitting on you hoes. I'm just saying, like, do you really want to go toe to toe with me in the gym? Cause I'll eat it up. Just saying.
She's literally obese. You can't actually believe someone who is clinically obese can be healthy.
You definitely healthy. Definitely hasn't missed a meal.
Every time she stands up, she is lifting heavy.
Here's the problem with 1,200 calorie diets from an anti-diet dietitian. Number 1, 1,200 calories is the requirement of a 2-year-old. So if you are a grown woman, you should be eating way more than that. Number 2, when you are under eating, the body's metabolism will slow down. So when you start to eat at a normal amount again, you will most likely gain weight, which is why diets don't work. And number 3, when you are underfed, the body's really smart. It will send out neurotransmitters to make you think about food more, and it'll increase the hunger hormone called ghrelin. This increases the likelihood of overeating exponentially.
Just what does my 600-pound life resident physician, Dr. Now, tell patients to eat? The diet involves eating up to 3 meals a day at about 400 to 600 calories each, with 0 snacks, no sugar, and a boost in protein and fiber intake overall.
Dr. Tik Toks coming out to play. Dr. Tik Tok can diagnose you from a random video. It's pretty impressive. I'm really impressed. Oh my god, Dr. Tik Tok, you're so good at your job.
How old are you?
I love the songs you make up.
If you've ever been uncomfortable in a restaurant because of your size, I know the struggle, and that's why I'm making today's video. Today's video is all about how restaurants can be more size inclusive and accessible for people of all sizes and abilities. With this video, I hope to educate some restaurant owners so that they can make their restaurants more size inclusive and accessible. Here are my 10 solutions for how restaurants can create a more inclusive environment. Solution number 1, comfortable seating. Restaurants should provide spacious and sturdy chairs without armrests so that people of all sizes can dine comfortably. Solution number 2, flexible table arrangements. Offer adjustable table configurations with ample space in between so people in larger bodies can navigate everything comfortably. Solution number 3, accessible restrooms. Ensure restrooms are spacious and can comfortably accommodate plus-size individuals and those with disabilities.
Or instead of adjusting to your needs, why don't you lose some weight and adjust yourself to being healthy?
Solution number 1 should be lose the weight.
This will allow people to choose seating that suits their needs. Solution number 5, provide key information on your website. Provide key information like table configurations, seat dimensions, chair weight capacities, and more on your website where it's easily accessible. Solution number 6, ensure that your tables are not secured to the ground. Make sure they can be moved to make room for individuals who might need more space. Solution number 7, offer more room in booth seating. Make sure that there's plenty of space to move around between the table and booth seat. This will ensure that people of various body sizes can sit there and be comfortable. Solution number 8, staff training. Train staff on what type of accommodations can help plus-size individuals have a better experience. Solution number 9, outdoor dining. If you've got an outdoor dining area, make sure you have some chairs without armrests. And opt for chairs that do not have metal grating. This is a small change that can create a more open and inclusive atmosphere.
Honest question, where is the line for the individual to demand everything to change for them, but no change can be demanded for the individual?
And last but not least, solution 10, showcase photos. Consider showcasing photos of your typical seating and table setups on your website. It helps people plan ahead and sets the stage for a comfortable and welcoming dining experience. And these are just some of the ways that restaurants can become more size-friendly and inclusive.
So instead of working on yourself, you let the restaurant do something about it.
If you'd prefer fat people walk around naked, I think we can make that happen.
Where did you get that out of their comment?
Sunscreen is easily fat-friendly. As long as I have that, let me know when we're all gonna start going about naked.
I'll bring the industrial-sized sunscreen.
I wish. Us fats get hot way easier than anyone else. We should be allowed to be nude and free.
Hello, this is just a reminder that your body is lovely and it is beautiful and it is worthy of love. It is worthy of feeling cool in all this hot weather we've just had, although it is now raining where I live, but don't cover yourself up.
That's not body positivity.
Girl, this swimsuit on you is doing things to me.
Is it that you hate fat people, or is it that you can't handle that a fat person is successful, traveling the world, having an absolutely wonderful life, and maybe doesn't hate themselves?
You did not mention happy. Respect. But why the need to brag or to prove this?
Mostly they just hate themselves.
I would rather shit in my hands and clap.
Insane things are expected. Obesity is a global health epidemic, with its consequences reaching far beyond just physical well-being. Recent studies have shed light on the remarkable connections between excess weight and brain health. Let's explore this throughout this video.
Hello. So this is like a friendly reminder that my existence is not consent for you giving me advice or health advice. My existence, me walking by, you seeing me, that's not consent, okay? At all. Just like when I went to Fan Expo 2 weekends ago and I had to meet some people. Anyway, that's another story. They had a sign that says cosplay is not consent, which is totally right. That's why you have to ask the fucking person, hey, I like your cosplay, can we take a photo? Yeah, sure, no problem. See, that's consent. Fucking seeing a fat person existing? That's not consent for harassing us and bullying us and giving us unwanted health advice, okay? So instead of trying to police other people and police other bodies to feed your fucking ego, just stop it. Worry about yourself, okay? Thanks.
Obese individuals often experience a state of chronic low-grade inflammation throughout their bodies. This inflammation can extend to the brain and has been linked to cognitive decline. Research suggests that the inflammatory processes associated with obesity may contribute to a higher risk of developing neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's. MRI scans have revealed that obesity can lead to structural and functional alterations in the brain. Regions responsible for cognitive functions, such as memory, attention, and decision-making, can undergo changes in size and connectivity. These alterations may impair cognitive performance and increase the risk of conditions like dementia.
Objective beauty does not exist. So I always get these comments that are like, how do you people find this attractive? Glazing. If someone comments something positive, it'll just be like, lie, 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 lie. And I think we need to have an honest conversation about what we mean when we talk about attractiveness or beauty or desire. Because none of these things are actually objective truths. They are subjective. They are opinion. And what gets labeled as beautiful or desirable or attractive depends very heavily on both cultural norms and individual preference. That's why beauty standards change.
Our body's complex hormonal system is intimately tied to both our weight and brain health. Obesity disrupts the delicate balance of hormones, such as insulin and leptin, which are crucial for regulating appetite, metabolism, and brain function. The dysregulation of these hormones can impact cognitive processes and contribute to cognitive impairment.
And it's why it's so foolish to me when people come into my comments acting shocked that people find me attractive. Because the reality is that people find fat people attractive. People find trans and gender nonconforming people attractive. Maybe you don't, because you subscribe to whatever the cultural beauty standard is. But you are not everyone. You are the societal groupthink, and then there's everyone who does not subscribe to that. If you haven't done the work to question what you think is beautiful and why, I actually don't believe that you even can know what you as an individual find beautiful. Because as it currently stands, you are just subscribing to the beauty standards set by white supremacy. You have been conditioned to think that way.
Obesity often comes hand in hand with other health conditions like high blood pressure and cardiovascular disease. These conditions can impair blood flow to the brain, leading to reduced oxygen and nutrient supply. The compromised vascular health can hinder cognitive functioning and accelerate cognitive decline.
You have been conditioned to think that way. So they're not really your thoughts. And if you really want to get into it, even I am privileged by those beauty standards, by the fact that I am white, I have relatively symmetrical features, I have an hourglass body shape. These are all things that are favored under our cultural white supremacist beauty standards. And similar to individual opinions on beauty, cultural beauty standards can be different and they can change depending on lots of different factors. Geographically, they change based on time period. You don't have to find me attractive. I don't give two fucks what you think. But you are also not the determiner of what is beautiful. You do not dictate objective beauty.
Obesity is not only a physical health concern but also takes a toll on our mental well-being. The psychological impact of obesity, such as low self-esteem, depression, and anxiety, can have detrimental effects on brain health. These mental health factors may further exacerbate cognitive impairment.
I don't know about you guys, but as a history girly I have always found Venus statues and figures absolutely gorgeous. Sounds like a skill issue.
But can a disease be beautiful?
The good news is that there is hope for our brains. Adopting a healthy lifestyle that includes regular physical activity, balanced nutrition, and weight management can positively influence both our body and brain health. Studies have shown that lifestyle interventions can improve cognitive function and slow down cognitive decline in obese individuals.
Fat girlfriends are like most other girlfriends, just with a couple limitations, alright? 1, I can't go shopping with you at the mall. 2, I cannot ride that roller coaster with you. And 3, I'm not going to be able to fuck you in a 2-seater.
And many more.
Baby, don't limit yourself. You can do all of that.
But we can eat. Breakfast? Let's go. Dinner? Where we going? Late night? Middle of the night? Feral snack sesh? I'm down.
Today I hate how I look. I hate how my clothes fit on me. I hate how my clothes look. And that's okay. We don't have to love our bodies every day, or even at all, in order to enjoy life. So much of our culture revolves around bodies and appearances, but in reality, it doesn't matter what we look like or if we like how we look on a day-to-day. Our bodies are just that.
The connection between obesity and brain health is undoubtedly a weighty matter. As we strive for a healthier future, it's important to recognize the impact excess weight can have on our cognitive functions. By understanding these connections and making positive lifestyle changes, we can pave the way for enhanced brain health and overall well-being.
Our bodies are just that. Our bodies. We just exist within them. They're just a vessel for us to experience life. They aren't our life. It is not our life's purpose to be beautiful enough, to be thin enough, to be flattering. So stop fixating on that pimple, on how your body squishes or protrudes. None of that matters. On our bad days, we have got to stop fighting with our bodies. Let's spend that energy focusing on what really matters. We don't have to hide. Even on our bad body image days, we're still us.
So what really matters? Enjoying food? That's all there is?
Heavy reminder I really needed.
But why do you hate the way you look right now though? Don't you look like many other fat babes? Isn't that fat-phobic of you?
Oh, so now it's okay not to enjoy our bodies? But when somebody is complaining about their body looking a certain way, you call them fat-phobic.
The conversation right now on whether it's fat-phobic to not want to be fat, to me just really feels like an attempt to deflect people from having to really unpack their internalized fat phobia, and that can be from both fat people and non-fat people. So I'm not going to answer that question, but I am going to recommend some readings. I think it's really important that people understand the deeper systemic issues connected to fat phobia.
She chose not to answer the question of whether it's fat-phobic to not want to be fat. Encouraging viewers to read is a valuable step, but it shouldn't replace a genuine discussion.
You're still on this app? Christ.
Thanks for boosting her content.
Yes, we need to get away from aspects of diet culture, but it is unhealthy to be overweight. No way around it. This is a perfect example of weight stigma and assuming someone's health from the size of their body. If this were true, that it was unhealthy to be overweight, which is a blanket statement, then everyone who was overweight would be unhealthy. And that is simply not the case. You cannot tell how healthy a person is just by looking at them. You cannot tell how healthy a person is by the size or the shape of their body or what category of the BMI they fit into. These assumptions harm people. Weight stigma, which is discrimination or stereotype based on someone's body size, has been shown to be correlated with worse health outcomes, physical, mental, and emotional. It is also highly linked to chronic dieting, unhealthy weight control practices, and eating disorders.
This oversimplifies the argument by suggesting that being overweight is never associated with health risks. That's not entirely accurate. While not everyone who is overweight is unhealthy, it's important to acknowledge that excess weight can be a risk factor for various health conditions. And here's where the conversation needs to delve deeper. While weight stigma is detrimental, it's also essential to consider that obesity can indeed increase the risk of certain health problems. We need to be careful not to swing to the other extreme by suggesting that body weight has zero relevance to health.
Now that I think about it, I've never seen a definitive definition of healthy.
And similarly, everyone that is not overweight is healthy with no illnesses at all. It's all simply not true, but people just make assumptions.
Using the word skinny to market products that have fewer calories or are healthier is fat-phobic. Skinny pop, skinny cow, with the tape measure tied around the waist. And you can try to change the logo, but it's still fat-phobic. Skinny girl. Egregious. Just egregious. To make something have fewer calories, less sugar, you say make it skinny? Smoothie King, I hope you can now see how people use fat phobia as a marketing tool. It's not about those options having less calories and less sugar, it's the way they're marketed.
This is insane. Isn't this too much? If this is not a joke, it's out of control.
I honestly never thought of it this way, but it really seems clear seeing it all at once.
Oh, you're not wrong, friend. But it does help to identify the better options during my weight loss journey. 'Cause I have almost all of these right now.
Damn if these aren't facts.
Today, I'm so excited to share 3 powerful practices that have helped me love and appreciate my body. First up, daily affirmations, my absolute favorite. I repeat 11 powerful affirmations out loud 3 times each, and it works wonders. Next, maintaining a gratitude journal has been incredible. Each day, I jot down 3 things that I absolutely appreciate about my body, boosting self-love and acceptance significantly. And lastly, cleansing my social media of unrealistic body ideals and following creators that are body positive. This practice has brought immense value to my self-love and confidence journey. Remember, you're not alone on this journey of self-love. If you want to explore all 15 of my life-changing tips, click the link in my bio to check out my free guide. Don't miss out, and always remember, you've got this.
Maybe self-love is more about taking care of your body and mind will follow.
I feel like if you have to go through all of this to be happy with your body, you're not actually happy.
Take care of your body. That's how you appreciate your body.
Create an echo chamber of shared thoughts and values. Take zero responsibility for one's own health. Call out society and demand free things.
And I'm only explaining this once, so please listen closely. When I said that an XXL is not plus size, I did not mean that bodies that fit that size are not a part of the plus size community. What I'm talking about is the difference between an XXL and a 2X. They are cut from 2 different models. An XXL is still a straight size. It does not account for curvier hips and the shapes that come in a larger body, but a 2X does. That is the point I'm making. From the bare bones of the frames those 2 sizes are crafted, an XXL is not made to be plus size. It is still made from a straight sized model. Thank you.
Should be the same, extra large.
Thank you. I bought something on Poshmark. It said size 2X, but no pic of a label. When I got it was XXL. I complained and they didn't understand.
What? How did I not know this?
So much knowledge. Thank you.
Stitch this. If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be? I'll go first. I came up with a quote that I would tell my younger self, if possible. And it's this: embrace your body as a magnificent masterpiece, for it's the vessel that carries your spirit through life's journey. Treat it with love, nourishment, and kindness. For every curve, scar, and imperfection makes you uniquely beautiful. Release the burdens of others' opinions, and let your self-worth shine from within. Remember, true beauty lies in embracing and celebrating the uniqueness that resides in you. Now, stitch this and tell me what piece of advice you would give your younger self if you could.
Maybe, don't eat that much as it gets harder. You know, many of us have experienced that moment where we notice the numbers on the scale creeping up. It often starts innocently, but it can quickly snowball.
Never shrink yourself.
So you can have your second heart attack at 40.
She is literally killing her own body. And going against her own quote.
Don't do the 10K calorie challenge every day.
I think you should emphasize the nourishment.
I'm a fat person and I love my body and I live my life to the fullest. So in a way, I think that the comments are right when they say that I promote obesity or that I glorify obesity, because I am here to glorify my life because it's the only life that I have. And quite frankly, we should all be glorifying our lives, because do you not deserve to live a glorious life? Like, I think we all do. We all deserve to have our needs met. We all deserve to have fun. We all deserve to live life as we want to. And for me, the body I have is a fat one, and so that is the body in which I do these things.
Promoting body positivity should not negate the importance of acknowledging the potential health risks associated with obesity. Ignoring the health implications of obesity can be harmful, as it might discourage individuals from seeking necessary medical advice and support.
So, If that means that I'm glorifying obesity, so be it. Because really, that's in the eye of the beholder. Because a lot of people view my content and they say things, they say fatspo, oh, they say, I'm not going to eat tonight. So for them, really, I have promoted restriction. I have promoted not eating because my content has told them that that's what they need to do. And I have feelings about that, but it really just goes to show you that, like, I am not promoting anything. I am sharing my life. I am creating content. And what you take from that is what you are going to take from that.
While your intention is to share your personal journey, it's important to consider the broader impact of the message. Viewers might interpret your perspective as a general endorsement of obesity, potentially overlooking the diversity of individual health needs. Body positivity should focus on embracing diverse body types without dismissing the significance of maintaining a healthy lifestyle.
And if you take from that, that I, as a fat person, live a glorious life, and that's the life that you also want to live, like, truly that has nothing to do with my body. But if that's the message that you get, that's the message that you get. It's all about your mindset. I'm just here living life. And if you think it's a glorious one, then cool.
Content creators, especially those with a significant following, bear a responsibility for the messages they convey. It's crucial to strike a balance between promoting self-acceptance and providing accurate information about the potential health consequences associated with obesity. Empowering viewers includes encouraging them to make informed choices about their health while embracing self-love.
This is like maybe a controversial take, but I don't think that the majority of fat people, until you learn about body liberation and body positivity, no one would choose to continue to be fat in a world where they absolutely hate fat people. People think that I'm glorifying obesity by spreading the word and like telling everybody about this information. Trust me, I wouldn't recommend anybody be fat in this world. It is horrible. It is so traumatizing. It is so isolating. People are evil. They are cruel. Strangers think it's okay to tell you on the bus, you're fat, you should lose weight, you're disgusting. Like, it's nonstop. And that leads to people isolating themselves and like seeking comfort through food.
Let's look at the science behind fat cells and why it's essential to understand their persistence in our bodies, even after weight loss. Our bodies store energy in fat cells. When we gain weight, these cells expand, and when we lose weight, they shrink. Interestingly, fat cells don't vanish immediately, they're gradually dissolved over time. Understanding this process helps us appreciate that our bodies are dynamic and adaptable. Knowledge is power. By understanding that fat cells dissolve over time, we empower ourselves to make lifestyle choices that support this natural process. Every nutritious meal and every exercise session contributes to our overall health and gradually reduces the presence of excess fat in our bodies.
I'm not fat phobic. I just don't want to be fat. That's not how it works. No, seriously, I have no problem with fat people. I think they're beautiful. I'm all for body positivity or whatever. I just don't want to be fat. Actively not wanting to be fat is fat phobia. And therefore, you're fat phobic. So it's fat phobic to not want to be fat? Yeah, actively not wanting to be fat is fat phobic. Being fat is a choice. Size isn't generally a choice.
Promoting the idea that any form of weight loss is inherently fatphobic might negate individual autonomy. People have diverse reasons for their choices, including health, well-being, or personal comfort.
Why does me picking lettuce from my garden in my backyard, like fresh lettuce that I was gonna eat, why does that make you angry? Why is that?
Because you don't do it often enough?
Comments like theirs is why society is falling apart. Like, the critical thought is gone.
Stay tuned as we uncover the hidden dangers of visceral fat and why it's so crucial to understand and combat it.
People
that jump into a fat person's comments and say things like, there's no way that you're happy and fat, you're delusional.
It's weird because the angriest comments I ever get are from people when they find out that I'm happily married with kids and also fat. They hate it.
Why the need to convince people of your happiness?
Skinny people are hungry and mean.
Let's grasp what visceral fat is. Unlike the subcutaneous fat that sits just beneath your skin, visceral fat resides deep in your abdomen, wrapping around your internal organs like your liver and pancreas. It's not just about how you look, it's about where this fat is located and its impact on your health.
No, see, you're totally right. Me being fat doesn't mean I can model, doesn't make me a model. What makes me a model is the fact that I make the majority of my income modeling. Because people hire me to model.
Why don't you address the part of the comment that your entire personality is the fact that you are fat?
As a plus-size model, you are a huge inspiration to me.
A huge one in it.
The scary part is that visceral fat isn't just an innocent bystander. It's metabolically active, releasing hormones and chemicals that wreak havoc on your body. This fat is linked to a range of serious health issues, even certain cancers.
So the other day, my man's giving me a little rub down. I'm loving that shit, right? Until he's rubbing on my leg, grazes across my knee and goes, "Baby cakes, what's wrong with your knee?" Shit, I'm looking at my knee. What's wrong with it? He said, "I don't know. I can't feel your plate." First of all, you mean kneecap? Second of all, you just forgot I'm a fat fuck? It's there. It's just under. It's under the layers of protective material.
Sir, are you new here?
So, why is visceral fat so bad? Well, it surrounds vital organs, interfering with their normal functions. It disrupts insulin production, leading to insulin resistance and diabetes. It also increases inflammation in the body, a key factor in many chronic diseases. Plus, it messes with your cholesterol levels, raising the risk of heart problems. Bet that isn't 20 minutes but only the 3 squats.
How much is she paying you to glaze her with delusions?
Keep up work and you'll get there.
Get where? Don't think she's working out to lose weight but more just stay healthy.
Tell me you need a personal trainer without telling me you need a personal trainer.
But here's the good news. You can fight back visceral fat. Through a combination of a balanced diet, regular exercise, and stress management, you can reduce visceral fat significantly. Incorporating cardio and strength training exercises, adopting a whole foods-based diet, and getting enough sleep are all essential strategies.
Nobody, including myself, has told a thin person, a skinny person, an athletic person, a mid-sized person that they can't participate in body positivity. You can lie to your mom, but you can't lie to me. That's never happened. What is typically happening is someone is educating that individual to say, you know what, body positivity wouldn't exist as we know it today if it weren't for fat liberationists, if it weren't for the work of queer, fat, disabled, black activists long before us addressing size-based discrimination. Systemic level issues like medical and insurance-based size discrimination.
Well, as business, insurers assess the risk of insuring a particular person. Which is the whole point. They don't want to lose money, of course. How is that discrimination?
Job opportunity discrimination.
But how can you tell an employer who to hire? Even statistics say that obese people use more sick days and have lower productivity.
Systemic level issues like medical and insurance-based size discrimination, job opportunity discrimination, the fact that it is still okay to openly mock and harass fat people for purely just existing. So let me ask you this. Have those issues been addressed? Have they been fixed? Have they been rectified? Have we moved past that issue as a society?
What issues? You said insurance. Which is complete nonsense. Job opportunities. Maybe there should be fat soccer players, mocking. which goes both ways, and medical discrimination, which is questionable.
Absolutely not, they haven't. And at the same time, you've seen body positivity bring all of this other messaging around love yourself no matter what, embrace all of your insecurities, all bodies are good bodies, blah, blah, blah. And while that messaging is great, and it is important for everybody to embrace, we have added a goal without ever having achieved the initial ones from the social movement that is responsible for this work to begin with. And when you add new goals and add new messaging without ever having achieved the initial ones within a social movement, it's no longer coexisting. You've now co-opted a movement. And you can see this playing out in real time within the movement because you have visibly fat people saying, I accept and love myself no matter what. And those people get openly mocked and harassed.
One of the unintended consequences of the body positivity movement is the pressure it can create to be unconditionally positive about one's body.
You're promoting obesity, you're promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. But that never happens when it's a thin or mid-sized girl giving the same exact messaging. That's all like, yes, queen, girl, slay. So if you are thin or athletic or straight-sized or mid-sized queen, it's not that you're not welcome within body positivity. I feel very much the opposite. I feel like I want you there because other people who have a similar body size to yours, which is deemed socially acceptable and desirable to have, are more likely to listen to you talking about these things than they are to me or certainly anybody larger than me. But if you are coming into this movement purely to make yourself feel better about your own insecurities or to put a word to that sense of worthlessness that unrealistic and gross beauty standards have given to every single one of us,
but it's not about beauty,
regardless of our body size, then honestly, no, I don't want you a part of it. That individualist mindset tells me that you have no interest in understanding the initial goals or roots of the movement, nor will you ever take a stand for more marginalized identities and body sizes than yours.
I left a comment and you literally told me I can't participate in your content because I am intentionally losing weight so.
Fat acceptance can inadvertently reinforce certain beauty standards. By highlighting specific body types as the epitome of body positivity, there's a risk of excluding individuals who don't fit these ideals.
Hey fatties, let's take the stairs together. Welcome back to my series where I, a very fat person, take the stairs, even if it takes me time, even if it means that I'm gonna be out of breath. Cause here's the thing, the fat phobes hate me no matter what. I take the escalator, they hate me. I take the elevator, they hate me. I take the stairs, they hate me. I'm out of breath, they hate me. I'm taking my time, they hate me. And I am terrified to just exist in my body and I'm sick of it. I actually am able lately to take the stairs and I want to take the stairs, but it means I'm out of breath. It means like right here I have to take a break. And that means that I'm usually in fear. I'm scared of people judging me and they do, trust me. Today I was feeling able and so I did it and I took my time and I was out of breath and guess what? I was breathing loudly and I was walking slowly, but damn does it ever feel good when I make it to the top. There weren't a lot of people around tonight, so it was my perfect opportunity. I'm here to normalize some fatties taking the stairs. Breathe heavy, breathe good, and make it to the top.
Everyone would praise this. Keep it up.
The Hunger Games music is taking me out.
This is my Rocky training montage.
While everyone deserves respect and acceptance, it's essential to encourage balanced discussions about health. Ignoring the potential health risks associated with extreme weight can hinder important conversations about overall well-being.
Here are some tips from a doctor on how to eat healthy. Number 1, calculate how much time you have to prepare your food. Number 2, calculate how much money you have to buy your food. Number 3, calculate whether you have enough money to pay for fuel to cook your food. Number 4, assess your food prep area. Do you have a kitchen, appliances, that sort of thing? Number 5, ask yourself whether you have the physical or mental energy to prepare your food. Number 6, go from there. Because I can assure you, as a doctor, that a stressed out, exhausted person eating a quote-unquote healthy, balanced, nutritious meal is not actually healthy. You can't be healthy if you're stressed. That's it. That's my advice.
What advice?
My God, after watching your vids I wish you were my doctor.
Healthy eating is indeed influenced by various elements, but it's equally vital to delve deeper into the nutritional aspects and the psychological relationship people have with food.
4 words that I hate are one size fits most. Who the fuck is most? Because it's not me. It's never been me. And this isn't a fat thing. Believe me, I could go off on how capitalism completely fails fat people in providing them with clothes that actually fit. This is about hat sizes, okay? This isn't fat. This part of my head, this part is fat. This part is skull. And in high school, when I was playing football, they had to order me a larger helmet to fit my large ass, big ass skull of a head. And therefore, I never get a hat that fits properly. And I'm just tired of particularly how they frame it as one size fits most. Fuck you, most. One size fits skinny ass heads.
This has to be a joke. You are angry about hat. Why are we discussing this? Aren't there bigger problems? Do you want a petition?
One size fits most. That's what I heard at the end there.
The downside of a big-ass brain.